What's going on? What's going on? You know what time it is. You know what rhyme it is. I'm your gracious host, A6. So I'm running a little late. I was out there making moves, sliding and gliding, dealing with life stuff. You know what I mean? Doing that, this and the third. Literally just got back in. So, we'll chop this fable. I actually literally got in, so I didn't even really get a chance to properly set up. But it's all good because we're gonna make it do what it do. What's everybody? How's everybody doing? How's everybody's weekend so far? I had a few people inviting me to go check out the tank Javante Davis fight. And I'm a Javante Davis fan, but I gotta chop this fable with you guys. Got a lot of stuff we gotta talk about today. Man, do we? Sheesh. I swear I got like one bug left. I can't seem to catch him. He's fast as hell. Like a little net or something like that. Let's check and see what I can't sting. Absolutely not. Absolutely not, sir. Never. Oh man, let me pull some of these things up. Give me 1 second. Let me get all situated. I'll be right back. All right, all right, all right. We should be good to go now. We should be good to go. All right, I got a few things. We got like, geez. I probably won't even be able to get to everything within the time frame. I do have some things I wanted to talk to you guys about today. And excuse me for putting you guys on hold, but like I said, I literally just walked in the house. So it's just a matter of making moves. All right, check this out right here. Oh man, they took it off. All right, we can go on to the next thing. All right, so this one, let me pull off the headphones for this. If you're not subscribed to his channel, please subscribe. Check out what my man's talking about right here.
Don't need a mask. The mask is about compliance because they know Canadians like to do what they're told. So they tell you have to wear a mask. Next, they're going to tell you have to contact trace. Then they're going to tell you have to take the vaccine. And because Canadians like to do what they're told, they're hoping that everyone just complies. And then guess what, kids? Once you take your vaccine, like a dumb person that doesn't know any better, they're going to tell you, sorry, the vaccine isn't as effective as we thought it was going to be. So now you still got to wear your mask, still got to get contact trace, still have all the restrictions and social distancing, and still take your vaccine. And then what did you get out of all of this? You got a whole year where you weren't allowed to travel. Your business was closed. They took your rights and freedoms. They forced the vaccine on you. And what happened? The same amount of people died. Everything is the exact same. And now they're going to put you back on lockdown and bring it all the way till July of next year so they can do the same thing again. Bring you from July, August, and September getting you off lockdown, but just to bring you back on lockdown again. If you idiots haven't figured it out yet, it's a perpetual cycle that you never get out of. And it's a way to take your rights, your freedoms, close your business, take your wealth. Why? So you become dependent on government. Why? If you're independent, the government works for you like it's supposed to. If you depend on the government to give you a paycheck to feed your family every month because they closed your business on you, now the government doesn't work for you. The government rules you. So instead of a middle class, we have the government, upper class, and the lower class dependents that rely on the government to survive. In other words, we have a slave class. And that's what they're trying to do. It's that simple.
My man just dropped the science and that had been less than 2 minutes. Like, don't get more concise than that, man. I mean, you know, he's pretty much summed up everything. This is stuff we've been saying for a long time, you know. It's death by 1,000 cuts. That's pretty much what's happening. So, you know, we all are very familiar with what's going on because we're the initiated, but those that aren't, there you have it in a nutshell. This is your first time viewing this kind of content or viewing this channel. We talk about stuff like this. That's pretty much what's going on. It's the death by 1,000 cuts, you know. Give you a little bit or take away a little bit, give you a little bit, take away more, give you a little bit, take away more, give you a little bit, take away more. Yeah, that's how they're doing. They're walking the back and forth pretty much, grinding them down very, very slowly. All right, this also is something I had ran into. Let me get this out of the way. Look at this right here. Now, this is very interesting to me because I've heard some people say that they were on the internet when I'm looking at different videos, and if I'm on you know, the gram or anything like that, or Twitter or something, I might see a person saying they just get a fake vaccine passport. Now check this out. It says that Owens Mills man, 23, charged for selling fake COVID-19 vaccine cards on social media. Now, this is out here in Maryland, Baltimore area. Take a look at this. According to the criminal complaint, since June 2021, Shabazz purchased over 600 fraudulent COVID-19 vaccination cards through a foreign online marketplace and had them illegally shipped to him. He then advertised them on social media, and he wasn't shy about it, which is insane. I've seen these kids selling all kinds of stuff on the internet they're probably not even supposed to be selling in the first goddamn place, and they're out there doing it online. Like, the barrier between common sense of this new generation is almost non-existent. And I think it's because they've had this social media and all this informational you know, public apps and all this stuff that they use. It's almost second nature for them to brag about shit on it, but they don't stop and realize they don't know that the feds is watching all that stuff. So all the activity they deem is illegal or unlawful or whatever, they getting their cards pulled, every single one of them. Some might take longer than others, but if you out there doing it, it's only a matter of time before you get your chain snatched. So check this out. Shabazz allegedly messaged someone when he was sold out. Made 300 today. I'm sold out. Just bought 500 more cards. 60 times 500 is 30K. I'm going to be rich. All right, so let me explain something to you. If you think 30K is rich, which I'm not sure if that's what my man was saying or not, but if you think $30,000 is rich, you got another thing coming, buddy. That $30,000 will be gone before you know it. They got something called lead bands in places like Baltimore City, where a lot of the old townhouses that the impoverished folks lived in, the paint contained lead. And there was a big thing back in the late 70s, I think, in the early 80s, mid 80s, where there was a big, you know, class action lawsuits against companies and building developers. They had insurance against this kind of thing that was basically called lead bands. So what the lead bands were was when you grow up or whatever and you get affected by lead, you would get tested for it before you were 18. Once you became, I don't even think you had to be 18 to get the money. I think you just got it right off the bat. But they actually call it lead bands because when you got the payment, it was usually around $30,000. And a lot of these kids that was getting these quote unquote lead bands or these payouts, they were blowing this money in less than a year. So like you got $30,000 and you impoverished, that is a mean advantage and a head start. Like you can do a lot with $30,000. Facts. If you know where to put it at and where to invest it, even if you just hold on to it or, be careful with it, it's a whole lot you can do with 30 grand. And these kids just blow through it in less than a year. You know, they out there buying Rolexes and chains and shit. They buying, you know, spending money at the strip club. They buying girls Gucci bags and stuff like that. They can buy themselves a little Lexus or something. Actually, you know, they broke. That's crazy to me. But like, yeah, that's 30 grand is not a lot. So if you think 30 grand is a lot, you got another thing coming, especially not for something like this. You know what I mean? So it says on August 19th, CBP officers seized a shipment that sent to Shabazz's address. The carrier's website said the package had been delayed at U.S. Customs. Shabazz then allegedly searched the phrase "customs inspection packages, vaccination cards." He actually put this in his browser. That's another thing. Shit you put in your browser can be tracked. Stupid. And watched the video titled FBI Investigating Fake Vaccination Cards. Shabazz then made another order and began selling those cards for $70 each. So this guy ordered a bunch of cards, right? Sold them for $75 a pop. He actually went online and found something saying that the customs was yanking the vaccination packages being sent out to people. So this dude orders some more and then sells them $70 a piece. So he gives people a $5 discount. He gives people a $5 discount because, you know, reasons, for whatever reason. I don't know. So, you know, he actually gets hemmed up. Investigators interviewed customers of Shabazz outside of Maryland and confiscated the fake cards. So not only was my man making the joints and ordering them online, he was actually also sending them out. He was sending them out all filled out and everything. On October 1st, they executed a search warrant at the basement of at a basement Shabazz worked out of. There, law enforcement found a list things I'm doing when I get out, quote unquote, updated or whatever. In early 2021, Shabazz was an inmate of the Maryland Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services after being sentenced for possession of child pornography. Eesh, that's disgusting. He was released in April 2021. Officials said the list included obtaining 2 burner cell phones with the note, "First burners for scamming." Jesus. Another bullet point reportedly said hire a lawyer to get tips of what not to do when getting money illegally. He actually had this written down in his office. Man, the only disappointment I have is that this guy wasn't like a villain or Batman or something, because this kind of incompetence can only be found in comic books. Like, bro, you really had all this shit written down? Jesus Christ. Just messy. The National Association of Attorneys General, the National Association of Attorney Generals at the beginning of April called on eBay Shopify, is that what this is? And Twitter to stop people from selling advertising fake CDC vaccine cards on their platform. In May, the Attorney General established the COVID-19 Fraud Enforcement Task Force to enhance efforts to combat and prevent pandemic-related fraud. All right, so basically, I read another article about this. This guy pretty much got hemmed up for a violation of it's commerce. That's what it really comes down to, because we know basically all crimes are commercial. The reason he was getting hemmed up was pretty much because he was interfering with commerce, pretty much. He falsified federal documents, which is already wrong as it is. And then on top of that, the dude was making fiat, probably on the social. I'm pretty sure the man was making cash or whatever like that. I'm not sure if he was depositing in an account or something like that, but that fiat, you know, and all that stuff, what he was using pretty much, you know, it's fair game. He's a U.S. citizen, I'm pretty sure. So with that said, the dude was actually interfering with commerce. Same thing. He got hit with mail fraud too. Man got hit with mail fraud also. So yeah, you can't do that. No, you cannot do that. What's good, A6 and fan? What's up? What's up? What's up? Rashad Namas, Chris Sky is doing big things up in Canada. Oh yeah? Break that down, Douglas. Please break that down. Replay what? You talking about the first video? Nah, man, I can't replay that. You're going to have to watch it again, bro. I can't. We got a lot of stuff to cover. I can't replay it. All right, let's move on to the next thing. But, yo, yeah, the vaccine passport cards, man, you know, I've heard stories about people actually, you know, doing their own cards online and stuff like that. I've read stories about stuff like that. You know, proceed with caution, I would say. You know, I don't endorse any of that shit, honestly, because I think it's all bullshit. I don't fuck with it. Vaccine passports are not my thing. But, I mean, you know, like I said, man, be smart about it. If you're going to be a dumbass, be a smart dumbass. I'll put it that way. I'm going to leave it there. All right, let me go here. right. All right, check this out right here. And you know, I see a lot of cool shit when I'm on Instagram, but check this out. This ain't even a long video.
Gruppliknande saker, men också mitt covid-bevis. Du får med det där. Trycker här, covid-bevis. Titta. Hannes Sjöblad och så den lilla QR-koden där.
All right, so if you don't know what's going on, my man has a vaccine passport built in his arm. Now, like I was telling you guys, we've been talking about this the last few months. So anybody who's been watching this channel is no stranger to danger. We already know what time we're on. And I've been telling you guys for a long time, the technology they use on your cards, your credit cards and things like that, the wireless technology, you'll see the three little look like they're transmitting lines or something like that. You'll see three little lines, which basically means you can wirelessly use the card. That is going to be implemented in what's called vaccine passports that will be installed inside your body. The excuse they're going to come up with is people are doing fraud and shit like that. People are making fraud with the cards. You know, people are saying that they vaccinated and they're not vaccinated. The pandemic keeps spreading. We can't stop it. The only way we can truly be able to stop this pandemic is if we make the vaccine chips built in people's bodies. That way you can't lie and say you got the vaccine and you won't be able to get in the building unless you have the vaccine chip inside your wrist. Now, Sweden has been the testing ground for this technology for a long time. I think the first administration of RFID technology inside bodies was actually in Sweden. And this was, I want to say this was 2013 or 14. So they had this technology for a long time. The people, it was voluntary, and it was like a business building that people were worked in, and they actually had the chips implanted in their hands. It was in there between their pointing finger and their thumb, right there in that little web right there. They had the chips implanted in that part. That RFID chip technology has been around for a very long time, man. It's not news. You know, this is old tech, but they're combining everything. The first step is to get the technology out there functioning to see how it works for a test run. And then they do another piece of the technology out there for another test run. And then eventually they create a narrative to be able to bring those two pieces together. It's the easiest way to do it. People to start to accept why it's being done, because what other reason would they be able to convince you to put some shit like this in your body? You know what I mean?
Absolut, så det är definitivt en grej som jag ska in.
Känner du dig redo?
Inte alls, men vi kör.
Ja.
En jävla nål.
Ska nypa här.
Ja.
That's exactly what I've been telling you guys is going to happen. And it's already happening this week.
Nu kör vi.
Jag rullar lite. Så.
Ja.
Och så vill jag att du tar ett andetag in. Och så andas vi ut. Så.
Okej, några gott sekunder. Hur känns det nu?
Nu känns det jättebra.
Now, this one's called an IOB chip. It's got different types of data and all that. You can insert your COVID certificates inside the chip. So this technology is they're putting the pieces together slowly. Facts. So they passed a law making the vax legal. Well, no, there is no law making it's complex, bro. First off, there's no law saying you have to even get a vaccine. There's no law saying you have to wear a mask either. It's all statutes, codes, and regulations. It's bullshit, you know. Statutes, codes, and regulations. That's how they operate. That's the only way they can operate. RFID, aka chip, aka y'all get what I'm hitting. Yep, my man got bars. What's up, hip hop? How you feeling, man? What's good with you? But yeah. I mean, you know, we all know about this. We knew this was coming. You know, this is nothing new to us. But again, if you're new to this kind of information, you just start watching this and learning, man. This is what you're up against. You know, like I told you guys, it might get to a point where you might not be able to get in a grocery store unless you have that chip. So what I suggest everybody start doing, please go find a friend or something like that, or go join a group or something that knows how to hunt. Go be able to learn how to hunt your own food. You know, get yourself a crossbow, bow and arrow, a rifle or something to be able to go hunt and get ready. Just because, man, you just never know. Because I'm going to tell you something. These people keep buying these narratives. And then slowly people are starting to wake up. But I don't know if it's going to be enough, man, fast enough. Because they're trying to put this shit in a full gear. I think by like 2025, they want to be able to move on with the whole narrative that, you know, anybody who doesn't have the chip should not be able to participate in society. And at that point, bro, You know, you're not gonna be able to buy or sell without that son of a bitch, just like the Revelation said. I suspect they'll also use human trafficking as an excuse to embrace the chip. Yep, as a means to deter children from being abducted. That's gonna make it worse because guess what? If they control the chips and shit like that, they don't necessarily got to give the same transmitting chips that they give to everybody else. Might be a situation where the chips they give them might be able to, they might have a whole nother server they're using for them. So that's gonna make it worse. So even if one of them escapes, they gonna be able to still track them. You feel me? That's even worse. Use your brain, not you guys, but I'm talking about the public because the public will buy this narrative. They'll buy this narrative 100%. They'll say, yeah, we'll use these chips so we can be able to keep track. Nah, bro, that ain't gonna work. The public will literally buy that, but we all know it's bullshit. You know what I mean? But a Senate Bill S-45 legislative makes the falsification of COVID-19 vaccination records a crime. I mean, yeah. Like I said, I wouldn't fuck with it, you know, but I do get why people, it's just like, all right, look, this is what I'm going to say. It's just like why impoverished people do things they do. You know what I mean? People that don't have no means to do shit. And the only thing they can do is do some illegal shit to get funds, you know, whether it be scamming or whatever. You know, people backs against the wall, they do shit like that. I mean, let's be honest. If it wasn't for the pandemic in the first place, would they even need a COVID-19 vaccination record falsified? You feel me? So I get why it's being done. But this is my issue I have with it. If you're going to do some sideways shit, don't put it out on social media. You know, it's probably not a good idea for you to put it on social media. But that's just me. I'm old school, I guess. You know, if you're going to do some sideways shit, that shit stays private. You don't, nah, man. It's in public and private. You're doing some shit that shouldn't be out there in the public. You know what I mean? That shit gets out there, you get fucked up. And that's what's basically happened. Proof is in the pudding. What up, Bad Wolf? How you feeling, man? My man. Good to see you here. Douglas Bright. The sheep come up with the most fantastic excuses to not have to admit they were wrong. Pride can be expensive. Yep. But fine. Craziness, man. I'm telling you. But yeah, people do, and it's the younger generation, bro. It's that whole sensational era of narcissism. And if you were in your early 20s, late teens, shit, I'm gonna go ahead and say pretty much anybody in their mid to early 20s, like y'all got the brunt end of that shit because y'all literally went. Most of the time y'all was in school, y'all had social media. That shit is poison. Matter of fact, the whole time y'all was in school, y'all had social media. Like, bro, we ain't had no damn social media back then, man. Like, hey, you know, it just created a whole entire era of narcissists, people who want to just take pictures of themselves all the damn time. You know what I mean? Take pictures of their food before they eat it all the time. Nobody cares about your food and what you're about to eat. Eat the shit and keep it moving. Like, don't nobody want to see your food, bro. And you know what really pisses me off? And this is just going off on a tangent. When people post pictures of food and it's delicious and they don't say where they got it from. Like, what the fuck, man? If you're going to post a picture of your food and it's delicious, at least post where you got it from so I can go get some. You know what I mean? You just go post some food and not tell me where you got it. Fuck you, man. What the hell? But I'm a fat ass though. So that's different. But I'm not. But real talk though, man. It's, you know, I don't get why people do shit like that. You know, but it's messing people's heads up. Like people's heads are completely scrambled. I would go as far as to say if there was an EMP tomorrow, I think most of the young generation would be dead weight. Yo, like literally, they would panic. A lot of people would probably kill themselves from not being able to go on like Facebook Live or Instagram Live and be able to have people talk to them and shit. Like a lot of people would probably commit suicide from that because people are addicted to the attention, man. It's crazy. You know, it's facts. Social media is poisoning these kids, but it's unavoidable at this point. Shit, the hell it is. That shit is perfectly avoidable, bro. You just got to know, look, you got to start separating. You know, you got to really see what the bullshit is. And you just got to start distancing yourself from it at this point. You know, I still believe with the correct morals, you know what I mean? People not, because, you know, even though I wasn't young at that current time, I know a few younger kids that aren't really on social media as much. Now, when I say social media, I'm talking about like, you know, Instagram Live and stuff like that, having people, you know, drop comments on your videos and all that. You go by, your day is determined by how many likes you get. If you don't get enough likes on a picture, you're wondering your self-worth. That is dangerous. You know what I mean? Like, yo, your self-worth should not be determined by how many pictures, likes you have on a picture. You know, that's just me. But hey, I don't consider myself a hypocrite though with the video. I want the lives to be up on the video so the information can get out. We can grow the community. At the end of the day, man, like I'll send anybody over to Bad Wolf channel. Go subscribe to Bad Wolf, James C. Lovett. This man right here. Go subscribe to his channel. Please go subscribe there if you're not subscribed. Most of y'all watching probably already are because y'all regulars. But yeah, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to his channel. Like, yo, for me, it's more or less about getting the information out and building a community. Because, yo, at this point, bro, we really need each other. You know what I mean? We need each other. We need each other. We got to be there for each other. We got to be able to bounce information off each other. We got to be there, you know what I mean? Just to have, like, that family. Because right now, let's be honest, like, we're all scattered. Like, when you guys get offline, you might have one or two cats you might be able to talk to about this shit. The rest of these people are zombies. It is what it is. You know, you feel like you boxed in. And then when you get on here and you get to spit words with everybody else, you get to jump on the live and just, you know, hear me talk about this stuff and stuff you've been thinking that you can't really say to nobody else. It kind of makes you feel a certain way. It makes you feel like you ain't crazy. We the only ones that's not really crazy. Facts. What up, Idol? How you feeling? How you feeling? Veal. You're using words I don't use very often. I would say it makes people vain and narcissistic. Like everything has always got to be about them, man. Everything's always got to be about them. You know, if it's not about them or it's not about them getting likes on their pictures or something like that, they ain't trying to hear it. All right. No, check this out. I know most of y'all heard about this. If you haven't, please pull your head out of the sand because this is very important for you to know about. I'm gonna bring this to the forefront because this is crazy. Check this out. Look at this. World's first living robots can now reproduce. Yes, you heard it right. The world's first living robots can now reproduce. Yes, sir. That is what I said. Let's see what they say. Oh, shit. It's not even a video. I thought it was a video. But yeah, so hold on. Let me see if I can go. I'm going to have to find the article because I read the article earlier this week too. There you go. Very easily pulled that up. Now check this out. Now this is on CNN. You know CNN's a bunch of crock. I don't really mess with CNN like that, but CNN occasionally has some information that slips between the cracks that I like to talk about. So let me show you the article I actually read. They actually remember Dragon Ball Z and that dude named Cell, the green dude who was almost beating the hell out of everybody and Gohan beat his ass. That was actually an android, a living robot. And now they got this even looks like Cell. Look, anybody who saw Dragon Ball Z and you saw what Cell looks like when he was first in the larvae form, when he was in the incubator or whatever it was, Dr. Jiro's incubator. I'm a Dragon Ball Z head. I love Dragon Ball Z. But this is what it looked like. So let me play the video for you. It's taking long enough. Any day now. There we go. What is this? I see. Hold on. Let me mute this because I don't want to catch a copyright. Hold on a sec. Let me mute this. All right. Yo, what is going on? They really don't want y'all to see this, huh? There we go. What is going on here? They don't want y'all watching this. What does that remind you of? When a xenobot is sliced in two, it automatically repairs itself. Now, somebody been watching way too much Dragon Ball Z, bro, and it ain't me, because I ain't make this. Boy, I tell you, that is some weird stuff. Now, I give it to him. It's pretty ingenious for the most part in terms of being able to create something of that pedigree. But dude, you talk about that scene of Jurassic Park where they said we got so infatuated if we could, we never stopped and thought, should we? You know what I mean? Like, yo, why, bruh? No, thank you. And they talking about all these good things. That's how they always start off. All these good things this possible creation could do. It can carry medicine inside bodies. It can remove radiation poisoning. It can remove plastics from the ocean. Like, get that out of here, bro. We know the first thing that's going to happen is actually it's going to be militarized. Say is with anything, any other technology that can be used to get an upper hand on someone else is going to be used for that purpose. Period. First. It might get used for other stuff afterwards, but the first thing it's going to be used for is oppression. You best believe it. You got a room full of people, and you got two assholes with a sword. Like you got 10 heads in a room, and you got two assholes in the room with a sword. Guess who makes the rules in that room? The two dickheads with the sword. They make the rules in the room. Now, if there's a gun in a case, they're going to figure out how to get that case open so they can get the guns and roll over with bigger weapons and drop the swords. You can have the swords. We got guns now. The same exact metaphor for this. You know what I'm talking about? I'm doing great. How about yourself? Glad to see you here. I'm so glad to see you here. Yeah, this stuff they're coming out with is insane. Like, this is playing God to another degree. Peace and blessing, Russ. Police misconduct, the police misconduct, but law litigation. That's the one that's like, I think Wolf actually got that joint recently. It's been circulating around. He actually grabbed it for cheap though. I know it's expensive because they don't want you to have it. But yeah, I gotta grab one of those. But we're not talking about that this second. But I will get to that a little later. I promise you, we can talk about that if you're still around later on. You can jump in and we can hop on that. Technology, they could literally change the world for better. Right? Exactly. Like, yo, this is literally technology. They could fix the issues that are plaguing us as mankind so we can move forward. But like, yo, this won't happen with the people in charge who should not be in charge. You feel me? Like, yo, that you're not gonna have any progression as a people. No, it's gonna be as progression as the mofos who are in charge. That's what it's gonna be. They're gonna progress. You know, any information they get for any breakthroughs or anything like that, they're gonna use for themselves. You know, I was watching a movie I hadn't seen for a long time. I hadn't seen this movie since 1995 when it first came out, and when it came out, I was a child, so a lot of the stuff didn't really click like it should have clicked. You feel me? But like, I was watching Judge Dredd, the one that came out in the 90s, not the one that came out in the 2000s. I didn't even watch that, but I watched Judge Dredd, man. Anybody who studies this information we talk about, law, legal versus lawful, public versus private, sovereign versus U.S. citizens. If you are interested in that kind of stuff, please go back and watch Judge Dredd. It's on Prime Video or Amazon Prime, whatever you call it. It's on that. Please go out and watch Judge Dredd and watch it with the mindset of lawful versus legal. Nature versus man's creation. It was some very interesting pieces in that movie that really made me stop and think. Very interesting stuff. And the ending was very interesting. We all know what happened at the end, but apply everything that happened in that movie to what we know now and come back here. We'll talk about that maybe next week. I'm gonna watch it again because it was a great movie, but just the subtle hints to everything that's actually going on. It was insane. But yeah, facts. Let's hope that invention doesn't lead to our extinction. Oh, it's not gonna lead to our extinction. We'll be cool. You know what I mean? It ain't us. It ain't us I'm worried about. It's the people who don't see what's going on yet I'm worried about. You know, we protected. We're doing exactly what we're supposed to do. We're protected. It ain't us I'm worried about. You know what I mean? It's really my fellow man who aren't paying attention to exactly what's happening. There you go, right there. My man said it best. My man said it best. Exactly. It can't, again, it has to be balanced. Remember that. There has to be a balance. It can't just be one-sided. It has to be balanced. You know what I mean? You know, just because it can be used for oppression doesn't mean it doesn't have to be balanced. And the people who get oppressed, they have to want to be oppressed. They have to be stupid enough to not remember that they're the ones in charge. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely. 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 100%. But yeah, it's for me, it's more like, yo, like it's just the whole taking advantage of people thing. It just bothers me. You know what I'm talking about? People that don't want to do research, people that don't want to read, people that don't want to consider the fact that they might have been misled their entire lives, people that call us crazy for trying to tell them stuff that we really genuinely care about their health and their well-being. You know what I mean? That's what bothers me. You know, but I mean, at the end of the day, you can only wake up so many people. You know, some people just got to be asleep. Let's be real here. It wasn't meant for everybody to be awakened. Some people have to remain asleep. That's just the way it is. It just hurts to see the people you care about the most. You know what I mean? The people you care about the most still sleep. That shit hurts. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. All right, let me get this out of the way. Let's get on to the next video. Now, this isn't related to the stuff we're talking about, but this is interesting, and this ties into the whole deep state thing we talk about too. So check this out. Your boy, what's his name? Yo? Jussie Smollett. Look at this guy. Oh man, if I can get this thing to play, I don't think it's gonna. Oh no, it's no video. Okay, yeah. Basically, this guy pretty much he did a dry run and it was caught on video of the attack the day before the incident. So now he's on the chopping block. This is pretty much probably a distraction for everything else that's going on. The whole Jussie Smollett thing was a big ass distraction too. I think that happened around the time what was it, the voting fraud or something? I can't remember what this was for, but this was created as a distraction for something. I can't remember what it was about. But he was pretty much tied in with Kamala Harris somehow. I can't remember exactly what the tie was, but he was tied in with Kamala Harris through, you know, connection to connection to connection. Kamala Harris was somehow involved. And then the case got sealed and the case got pretty much closed. And then they reopened it. Trump got involved and all this other stuff. And the case got reopened and he got in trouble. And the Africans came out and snitched on him and turned into a clusterfuck. This is a great example of a psyop going wrong. So this dude was pretty much paid to do a psyop to distract the public from exactly what was happening, to get black people up in arms. And black people really were quiet because they knew the story was bullshit. You had a motherfucker that was supposed to be out in Chicago on it. Because I remember that night. It was negative. Here in Baltimore, it was negative 10 degrees or negative 15 degrees that year. It was cold outside, all right? And Chicago is way colder than Baltimore. So I think it was like negative 40 degrees outside. Ain't nobody outside of negative 40 degrees. And this dude was going out to an ATM and two people were supposedly walking around looking for somebody to jack in negative 40 degrees Chicago windy weather and found him and beat him up. You know what I mean? It was supposed to be two white supremacists that was looking for a black dude to beat up in Chicago in negative 40 degree wind chill. And they expect you to believe this stupid shit. You know, this was a psyop. But the narrative fell apart. And now he's getting put on the chopping block, and the people who were supposed to be keeping him out of trouble, they got pretty much pulled up by their I'm gonna go ahead and say their chains got pulled or their cars got pulled, and now they abandoned ship and just left them to rot. Because that case was supposed to be put pretty much to rest and sealed, but somehow they reopened it, and now they got him looking stupid. So not looking good for that guy, but that's what happens when you mess around with them forces, man. You get in charge of putting disinformation out there. You gotta pay for that shit. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Ain't nobody mad at that. Everyone can't go. You got it right, Idol. Everyone can't go. 100%. Now, I showed you something last week. They're starting to roll these projects out every week, and they're getting more and more advanced. Now, look at this one. We talked about Project Bluebeam, right? Brother Truth channel on Instagram. Shout out to Brother Truth if he's watching. But check this out. This is at a concert. They actually use technology to simulate this. And every week, the technology is getting more and more advanced. They're slowly starting to roll this public technology out. So you can actually see this. If you're live and you're looking in the sky, you can actually visually see this. I'll play it again for those of you who just tuned in. All right. So there you go. For those of you who don't know what that means, you can start off with Project Bluebeam. You can do your own research on that. Project Bluebeam. But you're going to start seeing more and more of that. All right. That's going to be the new thing. The new thing is projection technology being accessible for the public. Projection technology. It starts off with just little red dots, just a basic public demonstration to show you exactly, how fun it could be to use. It starts off with that, then it gradually progresses, and then it gets to a point where, let's say you're able to watch movies, and I talked to you guys about this before. You're able to watch movies inside your house. There's a device you can put in your house that actually will put the movie in your living room or such. So you actually can see the movie. You're actually in the movie, and you're watching the movie in the room. You're watching, let's say you're watching Fast and Furious. You're watching the cars racing in your living room. You know what I mean? You're watching Vin Diesel fight in your living room. Like literally, the speakers are probably going to be around different corners of your room. This is going to be cutting edge technology. When it gets to that point and you start to see that, there you go. Project Bluebeam in full force. And as a rule of thumb, a lot of people were saying that they were probably going to use this as a second coming of Christ, to fake out the second coming of Christ, to get people to do certain things. I know the military at one point, they had a situation where they were going to use, they were going to basically make a second coming of Allah in the sky to get the Middle Easterns to do something. But they declared it to be immoral, so they ended up not using it. But that was a while ago, and the playing field has drastically changed. So please be unaware for that. Yep, that's what I literally just said that. Yep, it's coming. And when that happens, when that happens right there, it's gonna be survival of the fittest. I'm telling you, because whatever they have that thing say do, people are gonna do. Lesser magic, man. Lesser magic. They gotta tell you what they're gonna do before they do it. Lesser magic. Magic spells. Shit's real, man. That's a spell. People that keep taking the vaccine boosters and shit like that, it's a spell. People thought magic was fake. That shit ain't fake. It just doesn't look like little stars fly out of your hands and make shit float in the air like people think it does. It doesn't work like that necessarily. Doesn't have to anyway. All right. Now check this out. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. This guy right here. Chris Cuomo. All right, so for anybody that knows about this dude and his brother, what the hell is his name? His brother was the mayor of New York, I believe, or something like that. Some high-ranking position in New York. He was very tyrannical because he was basically ushering in the mask mandates and the vaccine mandates and was telling people that if you don't get the vaccine, they're going to throw you in jail. All kinds of crap. They're going to shove a needle in, had the military shove a needle in your arm. All kinds of crap like that, pretty much. Well, his ass got taken out of office for some bullshit, pretty much, which I specifically think he got taken down. And now his brother got taken down, too, who was supporting his ass. Now, check this out. It just so happens that last week was the first week of the Ghislaine Maxwell case, and he was actually involved with flying back and forth to that island that was in question. So they say it was because... of course, the narrative is never going to be what it actually is. Chris Cuomo will be off the air for the foreseeable future on CNN's airwaves. The cable news network just suspended the guy, all over his efforts to protect his brother. The question: does Chris survive this at CNN? Well, actually, this is an old article. More recently, he got fired, but I'm still going to read it anyway because it's hilarious and I don't like his ass. CNN just announced they're benching Chris indefinitely over new release evidence that put out the New York Attorney General's office, which shows purported text Chris sent to people on Andrew Cuomo's team in the middle of his sexual harassment scandal. So they're saying that basically he was interfering with the case, pretty much, of his brothers with the sexual harassment situation. They said his brother, Andrew Cuomo, who was the governor of New York or whatever his position was, he pretty much got taken down because of a sexual harassment suit. All right, and that dude's a Democrat. And keep in mind how Gestapo the Democrats are being in this particular scenario with the whole vaccine mandates and everything. You go on any Democratic web page or anything like that, or any Democratic page on YouTube, or any Democratic page on Facebook or anything, they're all pro-COVID shot. They're all pro-vaccine. They want to make people who don't get the vaccine pretty much not able to participate in society. They want them to be thrown in jail. They pretty much want, they want communism, basically. Let's put it how it is. And I ain't a Democrat versus Republican kind of guy, but I'm going to call it how I goddamn see it. And how I see it is the Democrats are being stupid right now. Shit, you can be looking in the Democratic state, and you can look at the Second Amendment laws, and you can tell how much of a Gestapo government they are. At the end of the day, the only government that's afraid of armed people are pretty much a government who's up to no good. That's common sense, right? If you ain't doing nothing wrong, you ain't worried about mofos running around with arms. They say Cuomo's transcripts and exhibits that were dumped. They say that the new transcripts and exhibits that were dumped Monday shed new light on Chris Cuomo's involvement in his brother's defense. The documents, which were not privy to before their public release, raised questions. You got some text here. So yeah, I just want to let y'all know this. I'm not gonna read the whole thing because I just think it's hilarious. He even looks stupid, just like his brother does. Both of them look like idiots, pretty much. But yeah, they had that look on their face like, yeah, I've done something wrong. I hope nobody finds out. Too late. Too late. What's going on, Zakiba? How you feeling? Yes, we are live and direct, live in effect. Hip Hop says, wait until they grow. Okay, yeah, we already covered that. My bad. Yes, sir. Absolutely. So, yeah, the Ghislaine Maxwell case rolls out. Coincidentally, we got people who are stepping down. I think this is what the CEO of Twitter stepped down. You had a few other people in high-ranking positions, multi-billionaires. They're stepping down. I think we had 4 of them this week, if I'm not mistaken. He got fired. The Ghislaine Maxwell case, heads are rolling. It looks like the news is spinning the narrative, but of course they're going to do that. It's propaganda. That's what they're supposed to do. But heads are rolling. It looks like, man. It's what it is. 100% factuals. All right. I think we hit that stride. Hold on a minute. I think we might be caught up. Yeah, we're caught up. All right, cool. That was everything pretty much. That was everything I wanted to share with you guys. So yeah, this was a busy week, just basically reading different information, studying stuff, the Ghislaine Maxwell case, keeping an eye on that, the Second Amendment. I listened to the whole entire case between Supreme Court and New York. And if you guys haven't been abreast of that, keep an eye on that case too. I know you guys say it doesn't apply to you, but please remember, those same police officers who will pull you over and give you a ticket when you're traveling with private police who don't know the difference between public and private will also try to yank you in their jurisdiction for bearing arms without a permit. So keep an eye on the Supreme Court case between New York and the Supreme Court. Keep an eye on that case. All right, there's a 2 hour like a hearing, I guess, per se, you can call it a 2 hour hearing, just the initial arguments, pretty much. That was very interesting as far as the Second Amendment goes, and restriction to the Second Amendment. Now, as you know, New York is one of the most worst place with the Second Amendment laws. New Jersey's trying to be the worst because they literally just had their freaking governor or mayor try to say that that we need more of this and that, and the third more of that gun control crap. But yeah, so keep an eye on that case because that case is going to be very important. Now, what I'm predicting may happen with that case, you may have a situation where there might be a nationwide change to the policy to the Second Amendment. And the Second Amendment is very crucial for protecting our rights. We know this as state citizens, foreign nationals, such and such sovereigns. You need the Second Amendment to be able to protect your family, you know? You can't always depend on the government to keep your family safe. You know what I mean? Sometimes that's just the way it goes. But yeah, keep an eye on that case. You can Google it, put it in the Google, Supreme Court versus New York on the Second Amendment. And they've been kicking Second Amendment cases out for, I think, like the last 15, 17 years. They didn't want to hear none of them. And I suspect it might have been because you might have had the deep state involved. You know, they might have just knew things weren't going to go right. Not enough people were focused on the Second Amendment, so they didn't want to rule on something too soon before they had enough people interested in it. So maybe that's what it was. I don't know. But I know this. New York is on some bullshit. And right now, New York is on the chopping block with the Supreme Court for their bullshit. And I love to see corrupt politicians get called out because they're supposed to be working for the people. New York is, and I would say Cali is. I've been telling people that too for a long time. California and New York, both opposite ends of the coast. They're the testing grounds for the BS. You can look at New York and you can look at Cali. The property is way too damn expensive. I think I saw a shack on, I think it was Zillow or something like that. They had like a single shack that was like, I think it was $750,000 in Cali, and it was in the slums. That shit was a wooden shack, literally a shack with like a door that was hanging off the hinges. It was terrible looking, but it was $750,000. And it wasn't just because of the shack itself. It was probably the location. Maybe they had big plans for that area to gentrify it, to put like a whole bunch of, high-tech informational stuff out there, different stores and stuff like that. But that's pretty much going to be something you want to pay attention to, because even in New York, it's the same thing. If you want to rent even a studio apartment in New York, I have a friend that's paying $3,000 a month for a studio apartment in New York. A studio, and I'm talking about no bedrooms, just everything's in the same room. A studio apartment, $3,000 a month. Facts. So yeah, that stuff is all being impacted. But yeah, New York and Cali are the testing grounds for the BS. It wasn't live in terms of video, but the audio was there. See, the thing about it is, y'all gotta understand. All right, the Kyle Rittenhouse case was fake. I have a lot of people wondering why the Ghislaine Maxwell case isn't being recorded like the Kyle Rittenhouse case is. First off, the Ghislaine Maxwell case is not going to be recorded and broadcasted because a lot of dudes that are in charge of the news stations' names are on the line. So no, it's not going to be live. You're not going to see that live. Why would they put that out there live? Who's going to incriminate themselves? No, they're not going to do that. They might put the pieces of the audio out, but they haven't even done that yet as far as I've seen. I haven't heard any audio at all. All I have is composite sketches and quote-unquote names being dropped. You know what I mean? So no, you're not going to see those. Any Supreme Court cases or federal court cases, those are real cases. You're not going to see those live. Them state cases, we know how that works. Those are actors in the bitches, man. A lot of the motherfuckers are Masons and shit. No disrespect to Masons, but it's different Masons that do different things. Different Masons do different things. Some Masons are involved with certain things, some aren't, But a lot of those dudes are in secret societies and stuff like that, So no, you're not going to see that. Savages think, Listen, bro. I actually knew a couple dudes that moved to Cali from here, and the shock was tremendous. He was like, yo, the weather is nice, and the women look great. You know what I mean? And it's a different culture out here. But the prices out here, the even the gang life out here, you know what I mean? Like everything is a shock. Cause if you don't know what's going on, bro, you could well end up in a bad situation. So it's a shock. But I mean, no knock to Cali. Shout out to Cali. I got no disrespect for Cali at all, but it's a different culture from the East Coast, man. Completely different. They do things way different out there, But even so, East and West Coast, when it comes to the politics, bro, they both getting shafted. Facts. New York is the biggest Masonic city. I believe that. I heard Denver, Colorado was pretty bad too. Now, when I say Masonic, I don't necessarily contribute Masonic to bad, but in terms of people conspiring to fuck you over, yeah, Denver, Colorado, I've heard they're pretty bad. That's why music promote the gang violence to try to push for that Second Amendment. What? I'm lost, bro. I'm lost. I don't know what you mean. That makes sense. And yeah, some of these random school shootings. Yeah. The random school shootings are psyops, bro. A lot of them just the psyops, kid. Like, yo, they're really trying to distract you from what's happening in other news by putting all this crap out there, like the Jussie Smollett thing and the school shootings and all that stuff. A lot of that stuff is psyops. It's basically put there pretty much to get you to give your Second Amendment away, because they can't take it, because the Second Amendment, they know the Second Amendment protects you from them overstepping. They know that. They're very aware of that. They're very aware of that. They want you to give it away. If you give it away, that's different. You know, they can't just take your rights. You can volunteer them away, though. That's how it works. That's how it works. Yep. Facts, 100%. But yeah, man. So, all right, at this current point, I'm going to drop, we're at an hour in. And you guys know at an hour in, I dropped the link in the chat if you guys want to jump in and ask some questions. Now's the time to do so. There's the link. If you want to state some information you might have picked up. I know my man had a question earlier about, what was it about? What was it about? He was on the police misconduct manual right here. Yeah, if Russell, if you're still watching and you want to hop in, you can do so. We can talk about that. But there's the link, man. There's the link. Let's chop this fable. But yeah, hip hop music changed a lot, man. Hip hop music didn't used to be that violent, man. It used to be real nice and inspiring, you know. Hip hop music used to be very hip hop was actually developed because communities back then in the, I think it was the late 70s, early 80s, the communities were pretty much desolate, bro. Like a lot of the buildings and stuff were destroyed. You know, New York in certain areas was terrible looking. It was pretty much forgotten. And they actually created hip hop as a way to try to liven their community, because their community was in shambles, man. You know, their community was terrible. You had buildings that were destroyed, arsonists destroyed buildings. You know, you had explosions and riots and stuff like that tore up a lot of property. So a lot of that stuff was rubble and it just looked terrible. So what they would do is they would create ways to try to make the area more bearable. And by doing that, they would do like graffiti. Like, so if a building was like dilapidated or something like that, they would create graffiti on the side of the building. But it wasn't that crap you see with just somebody's name in black spray painted real sloppily. It was like a beautiful mural or something like that. Or it'd be somebody's name, but it'd be really beautifully done in an artistic way. You know, so that you would ask, wow, who did that? You know, you would want to take props for your work. You know, that's what they would do. They would spray paint the side of the buildings and things like that to make the buildings look better, because the government wasn't doing shit. So they took it into their own hands to do it. So they would spray paint the buildings and stuff to make them look nicer and make the area look more cool. And it did. It worked. You know, they started to do that everywhere. And they started to develop a sense of community by doing the shows. So they had the DJs would meet late night in these little dilapidated buildings, and they would have their turntables and stuff. And they would do these shows, and they would have people come through and dance and have fun. And then eventually that was the DJing aspect. So you got the graffiti, that's one element. Then you got the DJing, and then you had the MC, the master of ceremonies. You know, you would have them over there talking and such, and then they would start rapping and get the crowd to dance over the beats. So you had MC, and that was the third one. Then you had beatboxing. So then you would have guys just going there doing a cipher, and they would just go. They would do beatboxing. The beatboxing would be something that they would do also. And the beatboxing was actually done in coalition. Hold on, let me plug this up. Beatboxing was done in coalition with the MCing. So you had the beatboxing and such, and you had the MC rapping over the beatbox. So it was dope. Like, you know, you had all those elements. You also had a bunch of other elements. KRS-One says there's 9 elements, which there's a whole bunch, but the main elements are those 4, you know. But yeah, these were things that were done to make the community a little more livable and enjoyable. You know what I'm talking about? That's what hip hop was for, man. But, you know, as Idol X says, hip hop was infiltrated. You know, when they started to want to, start to figure out they can make a lot of money off of hip hop. And they say, all we got to do is go down here and talk to these rappers. We got the labels, we got control of all this stuff, and we get this hip hop package with the label. We can get this all over the place, and we can make you rich. Boom, there you go. And then when that happens, they giving you the money. They kind of control the product. So when they started controlling the product, they started changing the product. Well, people don't want to hear this anymore. They want to hear this. Then it was geared towards the suburbs. It was geared towards the suburban kids at some point. And that's when it changed, This case in the war threats with China. What we talking about here? What we talking about here, bro? Break that down. Once again, if you want to hop in, here is the link right there. Please don't be shy. Hop in. The water's fine. We can discuss and chop this fable. Drop some bars upon these people, man. But yeah, China and Taiwan, man. China and Taiwan been at it for a minute, yo. Like, I know I've heard they had an agreement with Taiwan to not overstep that the jurisdictional line until I think it was 2023 or something like that. Because I had read about this a while ago. They had a treaty between Taiwan and China where China would stay out of Taiwan's territory and not try to overtake them until I think it was 2025 or 2023. But then I heard they just stepped over and said, fuck this shit. It's almost over anyway. We coming in early. And this was when the whole pandemic started. And if you remember, the pandemic really started in 2019. Because if you remember, like I remember I was reading these articles in September about when the Taiwanese people were fighting the Chinese. The Chinese were trying to overstep that boundary early, and the Taiwanese were not having it. That's when the COVID-19 pandemic started. Real talk. That's when it started. Go back and look. Go back and look at any article talking about the fight between the Taiwanese and the Chinese in 2019 in September. And I bet you'll see what I'm talking about. Them people were on the streets beating their ass with bricks, sticks, and all kinds of stuff. They were setting up barricades with bricks and all that stuff. And as soon as the soldiers would come over, they would hide in the buildings and throw bricks on their head and beat their ass. They were killing soldiers with the bricks too. They ain't had no guns. They were getting busy though. Shit, rumor has it, China was shook because the numbers were so drastic. China was shook. China released that pandemic. Got all them people off them streets. The next day, after that pandemic hit, they showed them streets and they were empty. And you put two and two together, huh? Might have been some kind of agent unleashed upon the people. And warfare shit, all's fair, right? How about that? Downloading Chrome. Yes, sir, Russell. What up, man? Downloading Chrome so we can jump in. My man. That's why Young Dolph was assassinated. He controlled his money and had millions. I don't know about the Young Dolph thing. I don't know enough about that. I'm not sure. I can't say. Well, as far as the China thing, oh yeah, I'm telling you, bro. You can read all this. I read 2019 was really when I really started to read about politics because I started to figure out things weren't as what they seemed, but I didn't know what the level was to it. So I read about the fight between the Chinese and the Taiwanese. It was always the Taiwanese wanted to be more Western, and the Chinese they wanted to be F that Western stuff. This is China. We got pride. All right, we're communists, and you're gonna be communist too. And not only you gonna be communist, you're gonna do what we tell you. All right, that's what China was doing. Facts, and as a result of that, the Chinese people pretty much overstepped, and they were fighting them people in the streets. I remember it, yo. They might have pulled all the videos now, and they said it was from some bullshit bat soup. But around this time, this time right here in 2019, there was a war between the Taiwanese and the Chinese people. This is before the COVID-19 pandemic even came out. There was a war. And then I think 2 weeks later, after the war, after the fight was happening, that's when the COVID-19 pandemic happened. So you can say it was biological warfare on the people if you want. I don't know. But I will say this. I don't believe a coincidence is that severe. No, sir. No, sir. Absolutely not. Shit, might have been a mass awakening. Them people might have woke the fuck up. What was it? December 21st, I think it was. December 21st of 2019, I think it was. December 21st, it was supposed to be Mass awakening, right? Something's supposed to be happening with the planets. Something to think about. If the status of a case is disposed, what does that mean? Disposed? What? So you're saying if a case says disposed, what does it mean basically? I honestly haven't seen that before, so I'm not gonna bullshit you. I can look it up real quick though. That means it's been closed pretty much. It's officially over. I've heard about people having situations like that with their cases too. A few people I've talked to have done certain things to get their cases disposed, and a very interesting thing. Some people were making a debate that if they changed their name or something like that, and they did it within a court system, those cases started popping back up. So something to think about. But yeah, disposed basically means your case has been closed. That's pretty much self-explanatory, I would think. But no, it's all good though. No disrespect. But yeah, that's basically what it means. All right, so once again, we're gonna drop this live in here. There's the link. My man said he's downloading Chrome now. Please take your time, bro. Thanks. That happened to me over some BS. Mary Jane charged to Courtney. I'll be with wanted to confirm. Yeah. Yes, sir. There's a sharp dude out there. Sharp dude. But yeah, good looking out on that, man. I'm glad that that helps you out, definitely. But yeah, that's bullshit. That whole entire case with those having cannabis that grows to the earth. That's that bullshit, man. I swear the reason that they made a lot of this stuff unlawful, illegal, unlawful. They made it illegal is because of the simple fact that it awakens you up. It does something to your third eye, and they do not want you activating your third eye. The same reason they don't tell you about medicinal herbs, they don't tell you about natural cures, they don't tell you about any of that stuff. They don't want you dealing with it because it strengthens the third eye, and the third eye will allow you to see what they're doing. You might get to a certain point where once that third eye gets strong enough, you'll actually be able to see them in their true form. And when I say true form, y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't act like you don't. Power is based on deception or perception. Shit, power is based on deception. What you talking about? All war is based on deception. It said that in what is that? The Art of War by Sun Tzu. All warfare is based on deception. Without deception, you don't have the advantage to have warfare. If you can get people to not believe they're in a war, you have the ultimate advantage for deception. Those phones and I bond it. How to go about getting my money back? Hold on, what's that? All right, Mac Bones, I see you in the green room, but you gotta put your camera on. I can't see your face. Go about getting the money back. What money are we talking about? You talking about the bond money for the case? I don't think you can get that back. To be honest with you, you might be able to. I've heard about people doing a what the hell was it? Patrick Devine said there was a way you could actually write a check to them, and the way he did it was he wrote a check, but he wrote it negative. So he wrote negative whatever the amount was, and he sent it to them with the obligation stapled to it, and then they actually sent him the funds back. But you might want to check into that. Look in the Patrick Divine, what is it? Not high frequency radio. What is it called? Radiant Clone on YouTube. Take a look at Radiant Clone Idol and and talk to them on there. They got their email and all that stuff. Ask them how they do it. But he was saying anything that you basically have to, any debt you have to discharge with fiat, you can actually get back. So look into that. I've also heard you can actually put it on your taxes too. That's another thing at the end of the year. Any fees you have to basically discharge with fiat, you can actually put on your taxes, I believe. But I don't give tax advice though. But check into that too. Don't just take my word for it. Yes, sir. Yep. Pharmaceutical drugs. It's like a trade-off. They'll treat one problem, but then they give you a whole nother problem. And then there's also, there might be things in there they don't tell you about. They talk about supplements and stuff, and don't take supplements because you don't know what's in them. But on the same token, can these people really be trusted with what they're telling us is in the medicine, quote unquote, that they're giving us? I would make the debate probably not, man. Probably not. You know what I'm talking about? Because at the end of the day, if there's anything that they don't calculate to be in it, they'll just say, yeah, medicine's still being. That's why it's called practice. You ever notice why this shit's called practice? That medical stuff is a practice because they're still learning. That's why they got insurance. So when they goof up, they got insurance to cover their ass on that stuff. It's a practice. They can't do it officially. You know what I'm talking about? All right, so in the green room, I got my man Russell. Please give a warm welcome to Russell. What's going on, Russ? How you feeling, bro?
Pretty good. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Tell me what's on your mind, bro.
In my headphones, I'm getting a huge echo.
That's weird. You might want to close out any other YouTube accounts you have or such you might have been watching or something like that. I'm not sure why that is, though. Hold on.
Bingo.
You got it?
Bingo.
My man. What's up with you, man? Talk to me.
Not too much. Kick back, relax. I was curious about that the police misconduct book.
I don't have the police misconduct book. You said you have it, though?
No, I just ordered.
Oh, they skipping my man. As soon as we start talking about the good stuff.
Police misconduct.
You skip for a minute, man. Whatever you said, say it again.
Oh, I said I just ordered off Amazon, and according to my orders, it should be here in a few more days. Here it says it's coming December 17th.
Awesome.
Police misconduct, 3rd edition, law litigation.
Awesome. Okay. What area are you in, bro? What state you in?
I hail out of Minnesota.
Nice. I have a few cats out in Minnesota. How do the officers out there get along, man? I've heard stories about officers being constitutionally friendly in other states, but I don't know about Minnesota. How did they get down over there?
Where I'm at right now, it's smooth. I just had an incident where my vehicle was stolen, but my vehicle's in a trust, and so I'm the trustee of the vehicle. So as my trust duty, I had to report it so that I'm not, the trust not liable for the vehicle. And when they called me to pick it up, I brought my identification and presented with I just gave them the stuff that I got from the channel. You know what I mean?
Nice. Okay.
Sure, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Basically,
non-citizen national. Yes, sir. Love to see.
And then, of course, the bottom part.
Oh yeah. Okay. So okay. So you gave him that?
That's what I gave them. They didn't ask me for anything else. I showed them the title to the vehicle and that it's listed as a trust and I'm the trustee. Mm-hmm. And he said, "Did you bring your spare set of keys?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "We don't even know if the vehicle started up. They cut my catalytic converter off." And
wow.
He's like, "Man, you're free to drive the vehicle away." And just got in the whip. The sheriff was there and everything.
Interesting, man. That sucks. Yeah, converter theft's a huge issue right now, man. I've heard a whole lot of that happening.
I did that the Freedom of Information Act or whatever for the Department of State for the passport to solidify your information, and they sent me back. They sent me back the deal. You know what I mean? But it's not quite exactly what I was expecting. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't. It's just basically a certified copy that says your application has full faith and credit. You know what I mean?
Okay. So
but it doesn't delineate. Oh, go ahead.
Does it say on there that you're a non-citizen national? Because I've heard about some people saying confirming that.
No, see, that's the thing. It just shows your application, and then it gives you the in order for me to do mine, I had a witness come that vouched for me, and then it shows their information, but kind of all that information is redacted out of there because it's not your information. So they won't show whoever did your affidavit of witness. They won't show their information. Oh, so man. They show my buddy's picture, but you can see they blocked out all his information.
Yeah, okay.
And they said if you need that information, you can get a court order from a judge, and they'll provide, if they deem it necessary, they'll provide that information.
Nice. I love to hear it, man. Good. So let me ask you a question real quick. First, let me welcome my man Mac Bones here. Mac Bones, I'm gonna let you in, but I'm gonna finish asking him questions. What's good with you, man? All right. My question to you would be, no doubt. My question to you would be, why you moving and navigating? Have you noticed any differences? What differences have you noticed?
I mean, I don't. I stick to the script, man. Non-combatant. You know what I mean? And I don't want any smoke or anything. I just mainly just want to be left in peace. You know what I mean? To cultivate my own energy and things of that nature. So. But I study, man. I study this stuff. I'm taking a course right now. I'm taking a course right now to be a certified paralegal. I've been through the legal system. Being brutally honest, I'm just coming off 129 months, and I came to where I'm at now. New days, new ways, new phase to get my life in order. I'm full-time a recovery / life coach, and so every day that I live to the best and the fullest of my ability, I do what's right, and after that, whatever happens, it doesn't even matter to me, But I got the reason why I was interested in that book, man. I got all the books. I got all the books, man. Secure, all the redemption manuals. I'm a secure party creditor. Actually, I'm probably more or less a secure party debtor because I'm a secure party. I'm still learning all this stuff, and until you learn how to wield the sword, and I did all this stuff, man. Represented myself in court. I shut the whole courtroom down. The judge left the court, all that. But I didn't know what was going on. I just had convinced a correctional officer to print off 30 pages from that redemption manual for me, and it said the judge says this, you say this, and I just followed the script, and they ushered me out of the courtroom and all that stuff, and when I came back, they brought me back in, but the court was empty. You know what I mean? There was nobody in there. You know what I mean? And then, I lost my mind over all this stuff in the past. You know what I mean? I was serious, man.
So what did you, if you don't mind me asking, since it was in the public, it's up to you whether you want to answer this or not. Yeah. What did you say to make the judge get up and walk away?
I asked the judge to state his name for the record. You know what I mean? He kind of pointed at his name tag or whatever, and then I asked him again to state his name for the record. And then once he stated his name for the record, I said, "Do you have a claim against me?"
Damn.
And then he couldn't say anything. And then I looked over at the prosecutor and I asked the prosecutor, "Prosecutor, you got a claim against me?" And he couldn't say none either. And I looked around in the courtroom and I said, "Is there anybody here in open court that has a claim against me?" And nobody can answer that question. You know what I mean? So that's when I knew. When you do something and you everybody's telling you not to do it, and the resistance that you're getting is guiding you down that path. Mm-hmm. And that was like my journey. That was my journey in and out of the matrix. And then I just, from there, I had 129 months to sit and think about this. And so I just gathered and studied as much information as I could, and kind of took everything by word of mouth. I met a lot of people. I destroyed a lot of different facilities and ended up in some places that were pretty crazy, Wow. But one guy I called my light because he enlightened me, and he's like, when you get out, get the redemption manual 4.5. Yeah. And I still don't have the redemption manual 4.5. I got a couple of the other ones. I got the redemption manual 5.0 series, and I just been studying with behind the scenes on your channel, of course, the Wolf, you know what I mean? And trial by fire.
Absolutely. And I told people, man, people want to go out here and do this, like, you can do it, but please understand, you will be in front of a judge at some point. And you better know your shit, because you are going to be tested. You know what I mean? So, once you really start to learn and you really start to get what's going on, you can actually have fun with it, play around with it a little bit. But yeah, that's great that you had success in court, man.
Yeah. I still, at some point though, it's like, for me, my attribute is rule all matter, born omnipotent. And then, so the initials are Rambo, Rambo, you know. And so what, you know, and how I got my attribute, my enlightenment, he's like, man, Rambo, he's like, man, you shoot at everything moving. And he told me, he's like, he's in the military. He was in the military, and he's like, man, we're from the military, man. It's one shot, one kill, you know. He's like, you waste so much energy, and he's like, man, he's like, God, man, you're so sharp, man. I ain't never seen somebody step on their toes so hard. He's like, you got to get out of your own way. You shoot at everything moving. I'm filing grievances, and I'm looking at all the codes for dietary allowances, and you know what I mean. It's like a nice little journey. Stuff is refreshing now, you know. I mean, probably the hardest thing I think right now is studying, man. Studying. Who wants to sit and read these codes and learn all this technical jargon? You know what I mean? I got all this stuff that I'm working on. You know, this is my course right here. It's a prisoner. I started this as a prisoner, Blackstone Paralegal Studies.
Okay.
You know, it's all correspondence, so it's self-study. But I got you know, the Black's Law Dictionary.
Which
version is that? Man, I got all the street codes too. 48 Laws of Power, 33 Strategies of War, the Art of War, the Art of Seduction.
Yes, sir.
Neurolinguistic programming.
Yeah. That's good stuff right there, man.
Creditors and their bonds.
That's a great book right there. I gotta read that again.
I just bought a book on trust that I seen passing the buck.
Somebody else showed me that book 2 weeks ago. You passing the buck. I think it was Tony Cooper.
Tony, I really got it, and I went right on there and immediately ordered it.
I'm about to get that, man. I gotta get that book right now. If anybody wants to give me that book for Christmas and make a donation, please do so.
I was going to ask you two gentlemen a question. Have you heard of this book called Morals and Dogma by Albert Pike?
I can't hear you.
What's that?
Your signal
called Morals and Dogma by Albert Pike. Can you hear me? Hold on a second.
You said Moors?
No, Morals and Dogma.
Morals and Dogma, Albert Pike. Yep. Oh yeah.
No, I haven't read that one.
And let me ask you this: have you heard of this other book called "Behold a Pale Horse" by William Cooper?
William Cooper. I got Behold a Pale Horse. I got Behold a Pale Horse. Right
2
here.
months before, two months before 9/11, he predicted 9/11 in that book. And he used to be a highly classified naval intelligence officer. And when he gave them that warning, they assassinated him. They made him disappear.
Yep.
You got to be
warned
careful
him about 9/11 2 months before it happened in July 2001.
You got to be careful which copy of Behold a Pale Horse you're getting, because they edited the real Behold a Pale Horse, and they took out the 24 protocols of the
I got the
elders of Zion.
That was in there.
I got the original copy.
Yeah,
I got the original copy where you mentioned
that. I didn't know that.
Come on, they had silent weapons for quiet wars, and
that was all in the book.
Yeah, and how I found out about it was crazy, because I used to listen to a rap group that was under Wu-Tang, and they were called Killer Army. Killer Army, their first, I think their first album was called Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars, and it's like that's a real. They were really dropping
that knowledge on. That's the science right there. I love it, man. That's fire.
Oh man.
You know, one time, whenever y'all ready, I want to tell you about my background for a moment.
Absolutely, please do.
I'm born and raised in Little Rock, Arkansas, and my dad's people come from the Blackfoot reservation in the Carolinas. Also, they're descended from the Igwe in Benin and Togo. So I got some Vodou in my blood, but the Choctaw on my mama's side of the family. So I decided to go ahead and claim my mama's people, the Choctaw, and I received the Native American name, Southern Mississippi Peaceful Warrior. I got caught in the shoplifting incident in Little Rock, Arkansas, and I decided to go ahead and claim my indigenous rights as Southern Mississippi Peaceful Warrior. And when the judge looked at that seal, no, you need to get this dude up out of here. We get in trouble because he's indigenous. He's not black.
Yeah.
So I claim my American Indian status. Yes.
Okay. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
When you went on because I looked on the website for Cherokee, and they want you to basically you gotta have like a relative that you know of that was on the Dawes rolls. On the
Yeah, the relative that I have is my great grandfather on my mom's side, William Hespeth.
Okay.
He's from Mississippi. He's from Mississippi, and Mississippi was a central part of Choctaw Republic territory.
Nice. Okay. Okay. So that name
And,
was on the
and,
North
and
Road.
also, yeah, and also there are parts of Arkansas, especially in Little Rock, where it used to be Choctaw territory, especially in the part of Arkansas that's close to the Mississippi border. Now, I've also been a practitioner of Taoism since 1987. And I would like to give you this old saying about this Taoist master. It says that books come from words. Words come from those who know. Those who know do not store books. So I've been a practitioner of Taoism since 1987.
Okay.
And in my journey, I've learned after meditation, which is the microcosmic orbit, you learn how to balance the energies of Shin, Qi, and Jing. And when you master that, you become a sage, aligning your Qi with the Qi of the heavens and the Qi of the earth.
Lovely. Okay.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man.
So
I can respect that.
Please elaborate, because I'm sure the people want to hear more about that. Please.
Well, the thing is, your Jing is your vitality essence that's produced by your reproductive organs.
Okay.
And your Qi is produced by the tontine below your belly button connected to your solar plexus. Now your Shin, that's where your third eye is, connected to your sixth and seventh chakra. Yeah. So when you do the breathing, because like I do my active meditation in the horse stance, but you can also do the microcosmic orbit sitting down. So when you visualize the energy spheres of Qi and Jing doing their circular orbit, because what I learned from my Kung Fu teacher, Peter Panagopoulos Ponsifu, I've trained in Northern Seven Star Praying Mantis Kung Fu for about several years, ever since 2004. The last level I left was the level of the disciple. And I learned from Peter this: a warrior knows when to do something, when not to do something. So in my journey, I picked up some techniques of jujitsu, silat, and boxing, and so on. Actually, the first martial art that I learned was boxing. But
okay,
I've learned that in this book called The Way of Life, Guan Lao She, which is also known as the Tao Te King, which in Chinese means the book of the way and its power, or the book of the way and its integrity, where the way to do is to be. So the sage accomplishes everything within. So I mean, when I say that power is based on the inception of perception, I got that from the movie Inception starring Leonardo DiCaprio, because the way they affect your subconsciousness is through your gut, where the solar plexus is. So when they put their chemicals in their food and water, the inception of perception starts at your solar plexus, your gut. Now, I had this discussion with Sly Foreman about this. You heard of the form runner Super Sly 75?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm with those guys. Now, I'm also part of the select manosphere and the macosphere. My macosphere name is Mac.
Hold on 1 second. Shout out to Super Sly 75 and the former, and please go subscribe to their channels. Those dudes taught me a lot of stuff. Shout out to them brothers. Thank you very much. Please continue.
I'm also connected to Abraham Times, Abraham Eagle. I've been on some lives with them too. We discussed some real deep topics, because when you get caught up in the conventional fanfare like NFL, NBA, Real Housewives of Atlanta, that sort of thing, they're able to use you as a barrier. That's why I really don't watch TV like I used to. I hardly ever watch TV at all. There are times, most of the time, engaging in fasting and active meditation. And I've also taught my nieces and nephews what I learned in Taoism and Kung Fu as well. Because here's what the ancients said, it came to this assembly. Having all sorts of knowledge cannot be compared to give up seeking for anything, because it's the best of all things. Mind is not a simple concept. There is no true doctrine which can be put into words. Then the exalted master left. That's also an ancient Taoist saying as well. But in order for me to understand what the sages and prophets were saying, I had to take martial arts. I had to take the Kung Fu to finally understand. That's why I took Kung Fu. So I have a practical understanding of the jewels of the Tao and Zen we're talking about.
Okay.
That's what's up,
dope,
man.
Yeah, see, me, I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu myself. I've never done Kung Fu. And for me, I've actually learned, like, again, balance. Not having to force things one way, but there has to be equal balance. In terms of doing things, there's always a yin and a yang.
You might not be able to.
Let
me see.
It's one of the principles of the Tao. I mean, there's 9 principles of Tao. There's the flexibility, flow, gentleness, balance, harmony, integrity, and nothingness, subtlety, and simplicity.
My man got he got the bars right there, yes sir. You got the bars right there. That's the what is it, Wing Chun, right?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, martial arts can definitely teach you discipline, and it can show you it can basically teach you about yourself too. You know,
Right.
It helps you grow as a person. Absolutely.
Because the real master is within you. Because it says in the Tao, the further you go, the less you know. The way to do is to be. You don't need at the door outside the ways of heaven. Because the way is you.
Straight up.
And that's why
I love that. Now, I had a few black belts say a few black belts told me once you get the black belt, you really finally realize how much you don't know. Like, yo, it's crazy because it's like you start over. I'm like, how can you start over at black belt? But then like I start to see, and me as a blue belt now, I'm starting to figure out like, yo, there really is levels to this. And once you get the black belt, you basically pretty much in a super advanced white belt at that point. You just still learning. And you're learning that everything you learned before, there's always another way to see it.
And the way I was taught Kung Fu, I was taught Kung Fu the old school way. There were no belts.
Yeah.
Peter told me there were 3 levels of Kung Fu: the beginner, which is a novice, the disciple, and the master. And he told me there were no belts. There are times we was teaching the Kung Fu, I wanted to change out of my security guard uniform and change to my gym clothes. He said, "No, Edward, I'm going to teach you how to fight in your security guard clothes." And you know what he told me? He said, "Edward, the enemy is going to give you to your karate uniform."
Yeah. Right.
He was teaching me on how to be an actual operative, hand-to-hand combat. And Kung Fu was so up named we're moving a circle. He was training me to be able to deal with multiple opponents. Because according to Kung Fu, the circle is ever turning, ever flowing, and never ending. And the circle always goes back to its origin.
Okay.
So from the Kung Fu, like Kung Fu is boxing, art, and hard work to achieve skill. So you look at Luther Vandross, he's attained Kung Fu and being a vocalist.
Yeah, right.
You look at Martha Stewart, she's attained Kung Fu and being a nationwide chef. You look at Donald Trump, he's attained Kung Fu and being a village idiot at the White House.
I didn't see that coming.
But you know what I learned over the years, ever since I claimed my Native American name, 7 Moves 7 Peaceful Warrior, and claimed myself as American Indian on my job application, I haven't had no problems. Because that was a rude awakening for me, man. When I came in and that judge found out, wait a minute, he's Choctaw, he's 7 Moves 7 Peaceful Warrior, he's registered with Ocala Nation. No, get him up out of here. We don't need this trouble.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I didn't have to say anything.
That's federal, right?
Yeah, that's federal.
I went down all those rabbit holes, man. I used the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. I used the Universal Declaration of the Rights of the Indigenous People. I tried all, man. I tried everything. I got a for my case where I wrote my own supplemental pro se brief, man. I wrote a 137-page document for them to just smack my paperwork like it was nothing, and I quoted everything. But see, I didn't know what I know now about titles and buzzwords and all that stuff. I said, write my document up like I'm a sovereign citizen.
Oh, crap!
You know, I you know what I mean? But let's
look at that word sovereignty for a moment. Now, sovereignty is about having your own control. Now, sovereignty, the basis of sovereignty is self-control, self-reflection, and self-awareness. Mm-hmm. Now, you take it higher, the basis of sovereignty is self-knowledge, self-accountability, and self-mastery. In the 48 laws of power, it says that the basis of power is self-control.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also I explained to the people in the Macosphere and the Select Manosphere, they call me Mac Bone and Mac Bones for some reason. I told them that there's 3 degrees of gain. There's sex, there's money, and there's power. Right. Players focus on sex. Pimps focus on money. Max focus on power. Now, when you get the power, you magnetize the money into sex too.
Right, absolutely.
That's what's
And
up.
Bars.
that's the game that Uncle
That's
Lester
that
told
old
me.
school game right there, baby. That's that tried and true game. Yes, sir. 100%,
Yes.
folks. You heard it here, man. Absolutely. So let me ask you guys a
I
question.
mean, because like I explained to them, macking is a process, not a recess. And I also told them this: the vibration of your flow determines the quality of your glow, and also the quality of your vibe determines your tribe.
Right.
And I also said this.
Absolutely.
And I also said this: those that are lame will always put blame on the game.
Facts. That's the isms right there. Nice. Absolutely, man. Thank you for jumping in, man. That was great words of wisdom right there. Let me catch up on some of these comments. All right. My man says, you got a bunch of fans here, Russ. Hold on. All right, I see this here. Where to get the paper from? Yeah, she's asking where you got that paper from. She's asking where you got that form from, Russ.
Which one? The ID I created from information from yours truly, or
the full faith and credit joint? I think she might have been asked with the gold seal.
That was from studying the channels and just doing a Freedom of Information Act to the U.S. Department of State. You know what I mean?
There you have it.
Educational, informational, entertainment purposes only.
Facts, 100%.
You know?
Yeah, that's the thing about my mom. My mom talks about the Choctaw. The Choctaw are one of the 5 civilized tribes that make the original agreement with the federal court. You know, so when they heard that Native American name, when they found out I was connected to the Choctaw, ever since I claimed myself to be American Indian, I've had no problems. I remember one time I claimed myself to be American Indian that the lady that interviewed me at the PRS check out the face, she smiled. Okay, finally somebody gets it.
Wait, I can. Your signal's bad. Say it one more time. I want to hear what you just said. Say it one more time.
It's not about your color. It's about your status. Which tribe do you come from? Right. Because the original Native Americans were black and Negroid. When the explorer Christopher Columbus came over there, he came over with their native.
Yo, Mac, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
We can't hear what you're saying. Your signal is jumping. Please, you are dropping some gold, and we want to hear everything you're saying. Is there any way you can get to a solid area so we can hear you?
Okay, let me
because you dropping some gold.
I can hear it. Certain area. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you perfect. Yeah.
Okay. The thing is, it's about claiming your status, your indigenous status as which tribe do you come from? Do you come from the civilized tribe or the uncivilized tribe? Mm-hmm. So when you look at Christopher Columbus, he came with this explorer called Pietro de Negro, Peter the Negro, who came to the Americas way before Columbus did. Off the coast of Florida, they saw the first Native American they saw had an afro with a feather in his cap and broad nose and thick lips. This goes back to the Olmecs. So when the Vikings and Asians came and mixed in with the Olmecs and other white explorers, you have the typical Native American look you have today. Those are not the original Native Americans. Those are mulattoes, or what they call in Spanish, mestizos, mixed folks. So what happened was they displaced the original melanated Native Americans, enslaved them, because they lost a lot of cargo in the Middle Passage, millions of Africans. But when they came, they saw a whole bunch of black folks, native black folks on American soil, and enslaved them, took away their tribal rights. Those Native American tribes that were all over the country, they were not just destroyed, they were displaced. Hmm. You look at California. California is named after the Olmec princess. Hmm. Yeah.
Damn.
So like when I claim something, I claim Olmec because you got the Olmec statues and the perfect spears in Mexico, Guatemala, and El Salvador. So they know who we really are. We are the original inhabitants of this continent.
Right.
Yeah. We're not Negro. We're not African American. We're Olmec. We're Native American. So it's not about your skin color. It's about your tribe, your indigenous heritage. And that's why that That's why that judge let me the hell alone and said, "Get them up out there. We don't want trouble with the Choctaw Nation. They're one of the civilized ones. We don't need the lawsuit. Get them out of here."
Absolutely. That's fire, bro. 100%. Please, please, please. Everybody, take note of what my man is saying. He is absolutely right. The whole color thing, skin color thing, that is dead. It is 2021. It is the age of information. This is what we need to know. Are you one of the civilized tribes? Listen to Dane Calloway. Dane Calloway, I've been telling you about him too. I even have his book over here. I was reading just yesterday. His book on tracing your genealogy through records or what have you. That is a great book. You can trace exactly where your lineage came from through the records. And it's great information. Like my man is saying right here. Knowing who you are is priceless. Because once you're able to prove that you're one of the civilized tribesmen, you're protected.
But because when I first learned about the Native American medicine wheel, and I met Grandmother Selma and Peter and Red Wolf Shadow Warrior, he said, "Bailey, you don't look black or African American. You look Native American. We can tell by your look." So after I received the name, I did some research, and I found out that my dad's people were Blackfoot, but they also come from Benin to Togo, the Dahomey Empire. And Igwe in the Yoruba means healers and herbs. And ever since I was a young man, in my grandmother's garden and my mom's garden, I learned about rosemary and chamomile up here because they grew it in their garden. So I've been dealing with herbs for some time. And I also came up with a remedy for the COVID. Just take chlorella, take black elderberry syrup and capsules, take vitamin D3, and you would be immune to COVID.
Hold on, let me run that by me again. I'm gonna put that in the chat for people. Say it again.
Yeah, black elderberry syrup and capsules, chlorella, and vitamin D3.
Black elderberry capsules.
Yeah, black elderberry syrup capsules.
Vitamin D3.
Chlorella and vitamin D3. The thing about it, all you got to do to build up your immunity, like from what it says, be out there in the sun during the spring and summer, especially because that sun energizes your third eye and your solar plexus. The third eye is the capstone of the pyramid, and the inner sanctum of the pyramid is the solar plexus. You have the living sun of Ra within you. And I come from Arkansas, right? And AR is Ra spelled backwards. So you got Egypt in the center of the United States. You look at the state capital of Arkansas, is exactly the nation's capital.
Matt, one more thing, because you're skipping out again. It was black elderberry capsules.
And chlorella.
Yes.
Chlorella, you said?
Yes. CHLORELLA.
Okay, there you go, folks. The magic ingredients right there. You heard it here first.
Vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 heals your bone marrow, from which the white blood cells are produced from. Okay. And the stronger your bone marrow is, the more immune you are.
Okay. Yeah, because I haven't been sick at all. Like, yo, I literally didn't get really sick at all since this whole thing happened. I was like, yo, why is it? You know what I mean?
Because that sunlight is killing the COVID. Mm-hmm. That's why they up there did what they did to make it go colder in 12 hours in Texas, man, from 66 degrees to 30 degrees. Because they know that sunlight is killing the COVID. No one knows science, basic science 101. A virus and bacteria cannot survive in heated conditions. Right. You know, and when you get your third eye and so places, you know, energized by the sun, there's this book called The Solar Plexus by Theron Q. Dumont. He wrote that book studying Black folks. The solar plexus or abdominal brain. Your abdominal brain is the first brain. So when I said about the insular perception, the inception starts in your guts, your abdominal brain, by the food and stuff that puts the water.
Okay, we got hip hop says
start Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah.
Hip Hop Lit says Joni Aboriginal on Instagram could possibly assist in finding your heritage. I probably spelled his name incorrectly though. Okay. I'm looking for that too. Jeez, there's so much good information. Dude, I'm literally blown away by how much information has just been dropped in the last 30 minutes. This is a lot. This is at least 3 shows worth of information. Y'all getting it here first. All right. Chris says what's good. What's good, Chris? Screenshot. Please screenshot that, man. Please grab the info. I mix elderberry in my fruit drink all the time. I take vitamin D3 and zinc.
Yeah,
I
zinc
take the
is
zinc too. Zinc is great, y'all. Zinc is fire, bro. Let me tell you. I like zinc. I like arginine also for when I'm training.
and that's why I tried to explain to my family, A6, that I don't need to take the vaccine shot when I'm already immune due to organic and natural things.
Right.
I mean, because you really look at this vaccine, it's a re-engineered version of the retrovirus. It's re-engineered COVID.
Not a vaccine.
Yeah.
Nope.
And that's why that white doctor died, and that's why the nurses bills probably above her face, because it takes at least 10 to 12 years to perfect the vaccine.
Yep.
10 to 12 years to perfect the vaccine.
Precisely.
So why would you push an imperfect and messed up vaccine that they produce within months onto the populace? They're trying to get rid of the baby boomers.
Is that
baby
what?
boomers.
Yeah, I heard the same thing. The baby boomers. They were saying they hanging around too long.
Long. That's what originally was all about. Because if you look at what's going on, you got the biochemical weapons plant in Palm Beach, Arkansas. You got the lab in military lab in Detroit, Michigan. Now that Wuhan laboratory, that's an exact replica of the biochemical weapons plant in Palm Bluff, Arkansas, and also that military hospital in Fort Detrick, Michigan. Because Nick Taylor talked about that. And the thing about the CDC and the biochemical weapons plant in Palm Bluff, that was mentioned in this book, The Iceman Inheritance by Michael Brad. Yes, the biochemical weapons plant in Palm Bluff, Arkansas. So you even got black sites in Arkansas, we speak, which is where I'm from. Yeah. You look at the Clinton family. They are a modern day version of the Borgias.
The Borgias, absolutely, 100%, 100%, 100%. Yeah, I know about the Borgias, absolutely.
Talking about it since he was Attorney General back in the day. Yeah, they're connected.
Yeah, you from Arkansas, so you know all about them, huh?
Yeah, so I've been knowing about them since I was growing up, because I told a friend of mine they're gonna get off their whitewater because they're connected. I mean, because that time President Clinton was the one that nominated Janet Reno for Attorney General, so Janet Reno ain't gonna go against her boss. He ain't gonna go against Clinton. So, and then a lot of the witnesses that need.
Oh, somebody ringing.
Wow, that's
Idol X says, if you know your heritage, how do you make the claim to put it on record?
You would go to the Mormons. You go to your local Mormon center, like in Arkansas or any other state, and then you go according to the rolls where they got the Christian name on the left and the Native American name on the right. So that's how I found out about my great grandfather. What you got to do first is get the death certificate and birth certificate of your father or mother. Now, if your great grandfather is traced to your mama's side, you first get the birth and death certificate of your mother, then go to the grandmother, then go to the great grandfather. That's how I did. And then get your own birth certificate and take it to the local Mormon center. Because the Mormons have been good keepers of records since time immemorial in this country. So you go ahead and get those birth certificates and death certificates. Take them over there. They're gonna look up at the old Native American records. So they found William Hespel, and then they found his Native American name.
That's crazy. All right, so you can go to basically the Mormon temple, and the Mormon temple will have the information.
Yes.
So will the Mormon temple have the death certificates, or do you have to go through the Department of Vital Statistics?
Well, they actually have the records of those Native Americans that give them Native American names and got the Christian names, so they can get land outside the reservation. But what you got to do is just get the birth and death certificates. You talk to Sly and you get that reality check, whatever it is. They get the authentic notarized birth certificate and death certificate, and then you take that. You take it to the Mormon Center. They see the proof of your lineage through the birth and death certificate, and then they look up the name of your relative, and if that name is matched with a Native American name, bam, you go to that center where you get the CIB card, certificate of Indian blood card.
I'm asking
And when
Slide,
that
I'm
judge,
talking to Slide now.
and guess what? When I got in that courtroom, and when I gave my younger brother that CIB card, and when that judge saw that, Mr. Bailey, we're sorry for the inconvenience, man, and please tell the chief so and so that I said hello. Will do, sir.
Fire. 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 There's your remedy right there, people. Find out who the hell you are. That's your remedy.
Find out the name of your tribe.
Exactly.
Because I'm a member of the Choctaw tribe through my mom, and my Native American medicine name is Seven News Epic Peaceful Warrior. Now, there's a book by Dan Millman called The Way of the Peaceful Warrior, a book that changes lives, and also The Sacred Journey of the Peaceful Warrior and Body Mind Master, all written by Dan Millman.
So the movie,
the Peaceful Warrior is
the
Body
movie
Mind Master.
Peaceful Warrior is a good movie too. It's the same.
Yes, Nick Nolte.
Yeah, he plays a great guru in there, doesn't he?
Yeah, Socrates.
Yeah, Socrates. That's my favorite movie, man.
But actually, the book is better than the movie because Socrates taken through his paces. Because it says in the book that silence is the warrior's art and meditation is his sword. And with the sword of meditation, you be able to cut down the illusions of the mind, revealing the mind is like a substance. But the usefulness of the sword depends on the source.
Of course,
so
makes perfect sense.
So we look at Peaceful Warrior in the Star Wars saga would be known as the Jedi Knight. So I've been dealing with the Jedi for a long time, to coin a phrase.
That's what's up. I got 12 meditations in right now. Be doing number 13 tonight. About an hour.
Yeah.
All right, so
now
Dan
see that
asking,
see that thing I said, the vibration of your flow determines the quality of your flow.
Let me get to one of the comments. Hold on. Dan says, got some blue elderberry on a prop. Do they have to be black?
Well, just as long as it's like black, it's got to be black elderberry because that black typifies a certain brand. I mean, because I usually would get the organic black elderberry from Whole Foods or Natural Grocers, but it's got to say black elderberry. Anything else, not kosher.
Boom.
Because I proved this through my own experience. Because I tried to do with that blue elderberry, it didn't work out too well. And also, if you fast for a while, like fast for 14 days on shungite water, alkaline water, and Super Slide 75, I hope you're taking notes. I don't know what's up, but I hope you be well. Because I've said this on many panels, man, and it is what it is. That virus cannot survive long in hot sunlight.
When I got ill,
it's killing that virus.
When I got ill, I went right out to my front yard, and I got cedar trees out there that kind of look like pine trees. I grabbed some cedar balls into a pan, and I took that, brought that in, put it on the stove with some water. I put about a tablespoon of turpentine pure gum spirits in there. And once it started boiling, threw a towel over my head, and I did a couple of 11-minute sessions of like a mini sweat lodge, and I did that for about 3 days, and gone.
Knocked it right out. Huh?
Yeah, it's the same thing you're talking about. Heat, you know what I'm saying? It's respiratory, and then the heat.
Dude, like all I've been doing, man, I've been drinking that natural spring water from the spring. You know what I mean? The spring. We got a spring water that has a cavern that has spring water that comes out of it around here, and it's real pure. It's alkalinized too, so I drink that, man. I've been drinking that every day, and I haven't had any problems. Like if I even feel like I'm starting to get sick, it'll go away the next day once I drink the water. Literally.
Now shungite water is pretty good too, because that shungite, if you let the shungite sit in that water for 3 to 4 hours, it will like re-energize that water and turn into something that's all healing.
What's it called?
Yes. Shungite, SHUNGITE. It comes from a certain village in Russia by the Karelian people, the indigenous people of Russia. So it's spelled KARELIAN, Karelian. So if you take like the Shungite water and the alkaline water, now if you're gonna drink distilled water, be sure you eat some fruit. Eat some fruit with that, like apple, orange, or grapes, or lemon and lime. Because you try to drink the distilled water by itself, it's going to leach out some substances or nutrients already within your body. So every time I drink that distilled water, I be sure I have an apple or orange, because I usually like eat an orange before I work out, because it gives you that extended flow of energy without having to take those powdered pre-workout drinks.
So here's the thing.
Yeah, because
go ahead.
Because formerly gave me a plan about eating, right? Like according to his plan, in the morning between 6 a.m. and 11 a.m. I would eat pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, apple, banana, and grapes. Now the oranges, I'll only eat like an hour before or after I eat the other fruits, even between 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. I can eat the berries. Now watermelon is part of the berry family. You gotta eat the watermelon by itself. It's the biggest berry of the berry family. Now the thing with like the strawberries and blueberries, they're pretty good. They're like anti-cancerous, antiviral. Now the thing about the pumpkin seeds and the strawberries, they help uplift and keep up your testosterone. They are natural, organic testosterone enhancers.
Okay.
And see, the thing is, when some of the people look at me, I'm 52 years old, but I don't look it. There was one young lady over there at Planet Fitness in Dallas, Texas, that said, "Yeah, Mr. Bay, you look like you're 39." Well, surprise. So when you learn how to deal with the holistic path of the sage, learn how to balance, harmonize, and synergize your energy, makes you more youthfully energized. Because the sage, even though he deals with the old path of the Tao, he has a youthful appearance based on the harmony, balance, and integrity, the synergy of yin and yang. Yin is true femininity. Yang is authentic masculinity. So when you have a healthy man and a healthy woman making a healthy family, that's Tai Chi. That's Tao, where the yin is feminine, the yang is masculine. Balance, harmony, and synergy, which is the integrity and the wholeness of the different energies of yin and yang. And through the interaction of yin and yang, that's how the beings produce out of non-being.
Bars. All right. We got
Yes.
questions in here, bro. We got a lot of questions. All right. He says Bill Clinton had a small private airfield where he used to travel drugs through Kansas when he was the governor at the time. I believe that 100%. So you need the birth certificate or the death certificate or just my birth certificate and their death certificate? She asks.
Hey, I'm gonna put some recommended reading in the chat right quick. Hold on a second.
Yeah, probably do that. Definitely. All right, Hip Hop Liz. Mac might have to do a course because he's dropping gems. Absolutely. Yes, sir. He blessing us with the good knowledge, huh? Viruses cannot live in the alkaline body. That's what I've been living by, man. I've been good with it, too. I've been good with it. Can I drop a link for you and your listeners on Robert Kennedy talking to Dr. Fauci? Please do. Drop that link. We'll go ahead and listen to that. Why not? Drop that link down, bro.
I've been taking the iodines. Iodine drops, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that on the Wolf's channel.
Yeah, I haven't messed with the iodine drops though, but I do know about he was talking about them now at one point. Yeah. But me, like I stick to fish, veggies. I do meat every once and again, and then I'll do like my alkaline water regimen every day, and then I work out to make sure you sweat a lot of the crap you take in your body and breathe in. You sweat it out of your pores. Yeah. So you do a vigorous workout, you sweat hard enough, a lot of that crap will come out of you. But it's the people who don't want to work out, don't want to eat healthy, just want to sit on the couch and watch TV all day, eat fast food, and want to take a shot to basically counterbalance taking care of yourself. They're the ones that's having problems. Yeah. So it is what it is at the end of the day.
I kind of look at taking different supplements like that when they're holistic as a spiritual journey, kind of say your prayers and then indulge.
Indulge, huh?
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So, and I like before I start taking the iodines, or like, I remember the first time I took turpentine, and it was just like, okay, you're really gonna do this, and then
Turpentine, huh?
Hold on, I'll grab it.
Yeah, our interview with Tucker was good. Okay. I agree. Health as well. That's why I'm a pescatarian. Pescatarian is fire. I just recently started getting into the what is it called? The steelhead trout or something like that. That is delicious. They got so many different fish out there, man. It tastes great. Yeah, I need to start catching my own fish though, honestly. I really need to get into the movement and catch my own fish. All right, what you got, bro?
All right, just so you can see, I'm really flexing on what everybody's talking about.
Okay.
I got the black elderberry.
Nice.
Oh, let me see.
Hey, A6, what I put in the chat is the 3 recommended books. And I put the symbols of Taoism in the chat, the yin yang symbol, the dragon, and the tiger.
Okay.
The dragon represents authentic masculinity, and the tiger represents true femininity. Yeah.
Okay.
This is something else I've been working with too.
What's that? Stabilized oxygen.
And I've been reading those books since 1987.
Can you see what else is in there though, underneath the oxygen part?
Colloidal silver. Yo, yes, colloidal. Let me tell you, I drank some of that colloidal silver and platinum. All right, last weekend to clean my gut out. And bro, let's just say I walked out of that bathroom about 5 pounds lighter. Literally, I felt great. That colloidal silver, like the parasites and stuff, it kills all that crap and it flushes it completely out. It's colloidal silver, colloidal platinum, and then I think it's colloidal gold in it too. It's all 3 of them combined. I can't even find it on the internet no more. It's called Royal Oramus. It was like $80 for the big bottle, but dude, it works great. I'm telling you, man. I'm about to go drink some tonight, matter of fact.
Man, I do all that stuff, man. The apple cider vinegar.
Apple cider vinegar is good stuff too. I heard, yeah.
Bragg's apple cider vinegar.
Yep. There's so many ways you can take care of
yourself. Yeah, the apple cider vinegar cleanses your gut.
Yeah.
Cleanses the gut and small intestines and large intestines.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
great stuff, man. But yeah, it's just so many ways to take care of yourself that they're not going to tell you. You know what I'm talking about? So there's the books right here. So my man says recommended reading books, The Way of Life According to Lo Tzu by Lo Tzu and Witter Bynner. And then number 2 is Body Mind Mastery by Dan Millman. All right. And number 3, The Solar Plexus or Abdominal Brain by Theron Q. Dumont. I need to get these. Matter of fact, Christmas is coming up. I need to get my hands on these bad boys so I can read them. And I tell you what, I'll make y'all a deal. If anybody wants to donate to the Cashapp, which is in the description section, I'll grab the book with the donations. And instead of you having to read it, we can cover it. We can cover it here. Or you can just buy the book yourself. Up to you. Your choice. But we're going to hit these books and we're going to pull the knowledge. The elders giving us great information right here. Thank you so much, Mr. Bones.
Hey, check this out. The 9 principles of body mind mastery are relaxation, non-resistance, accommodation, balance, natural order, suppleness, strength, stamina, sensitivity. Relaxation is the master key that helps develop your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual talent. And that's from the book Body Mind Mastery by Dan Millman, where you use sports as a tool for enlightenment.
Right.
Because Dan Millman back in the day was an Olympic gymnastics champion.
Okay.
Yeah, at UCLA, Berkeley, and I think it was like the 70s or 80s. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. She says, we should start building our own community like the Amish. All right. It says, I don't disagree with that, honestly. Stabilized oxygen, I'm going to have to get some. I wonder, does it work like 35% food grade hydrogen peroxide? Where do you get all your supplements from, Russell?
I just go to the local food co-op here in Rochester, and that's what I asked for was food grade hydrogen peroxide, and then that's where they showed me their variety, and that's actually what the OxyLife oxygen basically is food grade hydrogen peroxide.
I think I want some of that, man. Some of that stabilized oxygen. I want some of that, definitely.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that elderberry and the stuff my man was talking about right here too.
Yeah, I take a bunch of other stuff too: cinnamon, ginger, turmeric, ashwagandha. Yeah, like I said, it's a spiritual experiment for me. And then I meditate, like my man's was saying. You know what I mean? On your chakra, which, like he was saying, the energy vortex. It's just chakra just means wheel, and there's different energy centers in your body, and linking those things together and having them align. And if everything is really just signals, frequencies, and energy, getting in tune with that, I mean, that's you know,
that's key.
That's where it's all at.
Absolutely.
Yeah, here's the thing I live by. If you look at the way of champion is soul, mind, and body flowing in once.
Apple cider vinegar and lemon juice.
Yeah, I think I've heard her say that before.
Yeah, that lemon juice is real good. It's an antibiotic. Especially when you mix it with the water. Yeah, see, lemon juice is very good to mix with distilled water. So when you drink that cleanses up the toxins out of your blood, out of your endocrine system and all that.
Now, let me ask you a question, Max. Since you seem to be a pretty sharp dude with all this information, and I'm pretty sure you have an opinion about this. Do you think that the vaccine can be transmitted through sexual contact?
It depends on which genetic variant of vaccine you're dealing with. And it depends on where you get the vaccine from, because that's why I don't do that mailing in the lab thing, because I don't want them to get hold of my DNA and try to use it as a weapon. But the best precaution is preventative, where you don't even deal with the vaccine at all, because Amun-Ra has all the tools to give to you at your disposal within. You got the Ra, the sun within you, the solar plexus, the inner sun. In the Bible, God created the light to rule the night, right? That light to rule the night is your solar plexus,
right?
Not the moon.
There you go, folks.
And you enhance that light through self-awareness.
You gotta let that marinate for a minute.
The thing is,
you just
the path of the Mac is holistic. The path of the Mac is holistic.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
A man says, how much do these books cost? They cost what they worth, Mr. Chris. What they worth, man. It's up to you what you want.
Well, the thing is, you can download the books on your Amazon Kindle.
Boom.
You can download The Way of Life on your Amazon Kindle, Solar Plexus, and The Body Mind Master book. And no extra cost.
Boom. There you go. Yes, sir. I always got dope guests, man. I try to always have dope guests. The Way of the Superior Man. The books. There's so much reading to do, man. David Deida. Yes, sir. He says, Den says, do you guys make sun tea, moonlight, spring water? Yes, I've done the moonlight spring water before. Let me tell you, that will get your libido rolling. I drank that moonlight sun water, bro. I was ready to roll. You feel me? Absolutely. The 4 Agreements, okay? That's another book we need to make a note of.
A6 Grind Time. They have the Inquisitors right now, man. They really blowing it up out the water. Sly and Nick and Truth Teller.
Yeah,
it's a trip, man. The name of the live stream is called Everybody Won't Make It.
Is this on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube right now.
Plug that, man. Put the name right in there so everybody, all my subscribers can go subscribe. We want the information. Put that in. Plug your stuff, man. Please do plug your stuff. Everybody who's subscribed, who's watching this video, go check that out, because you're going to learn a lot. We all about disseminating information, all right? Go check my man's out. Think and Grow Rich. That's another one right there. Get on that. Get on your cryptocurrency. Crypto is down right now. China's manipulating the market. Get in on your crypto. Get in on your XRP. Get in on your Shiba Inu. All that stuff. While it's cheap, while it's down, because it's gonna go back up, and you want to be on that high side when it does. All right. Sun tea is definitely different from regular tea. Absolutely. Sun tea is amazing. Nothing like some story organic tea. Yes, yes, yes. I'm gonna have the sun though. Make your own living trust. He got all kinds of books. A man's doing the
Yeah.
reading. Yes, the redemption. Which one is that?
Operating. What's that one? Operating Invisible.
Number 5.
I'm trying to get
Invisible.
the title. Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
see it over
kinda
here.
hard to
Yeah,
see.
on the
Where
right side.
yeah, up right here.
Okay.
Operating Invisible.
Shiba Inu to the moon. Let's go, man.
Redemption Manual, founding original documents. This has all the Federalist Papers in there.
Right.
This has the Federalist Papers, Constitution, Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
Hey, A6, I just put the name of the live in the chat with the 3 diamonds by it.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Heavily flawed individual, the Grand Inquisitors. Everybody won't make it. Go subscribe to Heavily Flawed Individual right now. Take a moment to go do it. And my man right here, like-minded heads jump on them channels right there. My man has the uniform commercial code too. How much was that one right there?
I think each one of these redemption manuals is like $100 a piece.
That's not bad actually.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
No, it ain't. Go subscribe
Hey,
to Heavily Flawed
A6,
Individual.
have you heard about that book called The Forgotten Cause of the Civil War, as read by Sly? That book is $4,000. It's worth it. It talks about the white slaves too.
Oh,
and
really?
See, Sly had me cracking up, man, when they talked about the white niggas and the black niggas. So you know what's so funny about it? When that white man calls him the N-word, he's also referring to himself because white and black did no property.
Oh shit!
Talk about the white slaves being better than the black slaves. See, we go again. It's about your nationality and your tribe.
Yep.
Which tribe and nation do you come from? Because America is not a country; it's a corporation. It's a corporate entity.
100%. All right, so out here we talk about the whole non-citizen national thing, man. And I know you're doing the you're an American Indian now, so
I highly recommend this one.
Science of Getting Rich. Okay. Yes, sir.
Oh, that's
my man he done put up 20 books for
I've read that book. That's a very good book. That's a very good book. I got that book in the house. Yeah, by Wallace D. Wattles. Yeah. That's on fire.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
Hey, have you ever heard of this book called The Kybalion by the 3 Initiates?
The Kybalion.
KYBALION.
7 Hermetic Principles.
And also there's another book that explains it called The Ancient Future by Wayne B. Chandler. It further explains, it's all at the clip notes to the Kybalion. Now, I first read that Kybalion back in 1991 when I was 22 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first occult book that I read, because the 7 principles of truth, that's the foundation of the workings of magic.
Oh, wow.
If you don't understand those 7 principles, you don't understand the magic, because magic is the manipulation of vibration, frequency, and consciousness. Because your mind is the magician. Your mind is the magician that changes the molecules affecting your reality.
Yep. Agreed. 100%. I think it's been magnified too, man. I think it's been magnified since this whole dimensional shift or what have you. I think it's been magnified, but people just, their mindset is shaping the circumstances around them. And I think right now it's a situation where they're trying so hard to get their minds to think one way because they realize how the power it has. You know what I mean? Like when they're constantly bombarding people
concerning me, it's too late because this is open. My third eye has been open ever since 1991.
Yeah. That's badass. I got nothing to say about that. That's badass.
That's time of freedom.
What's that? More than a 7-letter word.
Cool.
You know, it's a little manual that teaches you about names, teach you about corpus juris secundum, the attorney-client relationship, how an attorney. As soon as you take on an attorney, you're a ward of the court, a person of incompetent mind, unsound mind.
Hey, have y'all heard about this book called The Seduction Scriptures? By Scorpio and Entertainer, Cousin T-Tall Alpha Wingman?
No.
Seduction Scriptures.
Yeah. This is a very good book. This guy used to be a exotic choreographer, an exotic dancer. He's also a personal trainer. He also has a degree in neuropsychology.
Woo,
He's associated with Ron Wills.
Hey, that's right up my alley right there. Yeah. I've got manuals on neuro-linguistic programming, all that stuff, man. The rules of the game.
A6, check this out.
Yes, sir.
Seduction is the presentation and delivery of transmuted energy in order to achieve a desired result. So when we talk about the path of the man being holistic, we talk about body game, charisma, and masculinity.
Yeah, I read the Kama Sutra. The Kama Sutra for the men and the Kama Sutra for the women's actually what I just got into itself, and that talks a lot about seduction also and how to carry yourself as a man and where your mind state should be at and all that stuff too. I still haven't got a chance to read the woman one yet, but I've read
Mac, you might recognize that one.
Have you heard? Okay. Oh yeah, I got that book. Yes, I first read that in 1981.
Yeah.
Yeah, you talking about nothingness, fire, air, earth, and water. Those are the 5 rings, which is the soul, fire, air, earth, and water in ancient Kemetic thought and ancient thought. It's called nothingness, but you can't see it. You can only see nothingness with this and this. But it's got to vibrate to at least the 6th, 7th, 8th octave, 9th octave for you to see it. Cool.
The paper trip. It says what's it say for?
New you.
Eden Press.
Through new
ID. I heard
ID.
about that. Eden Press.
This is information on how to get. Well, you seen what it is. You can look it up and do your homework.
You literally, guys, you've literally seen over 100 books now, so you can rewind it and make your notes or what such. But there's so much.
Hey, I'm gonna put some more recommended reading in the chat right quick. I'm gonna recommend some books by Ron Wills.
Drop it on him.
He's the one that talks about body game and all that. So, nice guys and players, sexual chemistry, and meeting attractive women. And you heard of Alan Roger Curry, right?
Who's Alan Roger Curry?
Dating approach. Yeah.
Alan Roger Curry.
Who say it again? My favorite seduction story is seduction story number 1, where he told that lady to shut the hell up. Either you're gonna be quiet or you're gonna suck my dick.
No, let's save that for another. That's a private class.
Let's just say if that was said in certain platforms, you would be banned, and all kinds of groups would be coming after you for misogyny and shit. You know how it goes, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I put it in the books by Ron Wills right quick.
Ron
Wills is the one that talks about body game. Nice guys and players.
All right, so Idol X says, I would like to know the difference between claiming your tribe and just being an American national.
Oof.
That's a heavy one.
When you claiming your tribe, you claim your genetic ancestry, bloodline. Now, when you up there doing that American national, you claim yourself to no longer be a product or be owned by the United States Incorporated. But when you're American national, you claim the original citizen that they had during the Articles of Confederation before the Constitution. The Constitution is a corporate document. Especially the amendments 13 and 14, where they transferred the ownership of chattel slavery to the prison industrial complex. So when you say you're a citizen, you're actually a slave of the United States Incorporated through your Social Security number. And that identification in red letters, that's according to the IMF, the International Monetary Fund in Switzerland, where your own life is traded over stocks and bonds. The International Monetary Fund.
All right, Organic Portal Phobic says Don Killam came out with about 15 books all at one time, covering things from redeeming employee withholdings and garnishments from child support, 1099 OID education, secrets of bonds, and being released from jail with just a signature, bills of credit, ultimate debt disputes. I want to know what that. I want to know about that. Eesh, that's great stuff right there. And he's still putting books out. My man has Weiss Concise Trustee Handbook. I don't see the recommended reading in here, Matt.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I'm putting down the books by Ron Wills. Hold on a second. There's 3 of them.
The Blackstone Paralegal Studies again. Yes, sir.
Wills and Trust.
Wills and Trust, okay.
Yeah.
What's the name of the author who wrote the trip? Contracts. Yeah, Invisible Contracts is one of the ones I had read myself. I had the PDF file though. You got that? I know you got that.
Invisible Contracts?
Yeah.
I seen that from one of the guys that I follow, High Frequency Radio, Yusuf L.
Yes, sir. He's the one who put me on with it, matter of fact.
Oh man. I watch Yusuf faithfully too, you know.
Absolutely. So Mr. Max says recommended reading books. 1, Nice Guys and Players by Ron Wills. 2, Sexual Chemistry by Ron Wills. And 3, Meeting Attractive Women by Ron Wills. And that's for the ism right there. That's the playalistic right there. And this can apply to different things too, not just game with women. It can apply to life.
And see when cousin T-Tar, also see cousin T-Tar is his YouTube name, but he's also known as Scorpion Entertainer. When he talks about seduction, he talks about the technology of seduction. Because see, the thing is, the academic term for macking is seduction, but C Boogie calls it the Don name. But it's all the same thing, just different names.
Absolutely.
Because if you really look at it, bro, there's some women out there that are so hungry and thirsty for masculinity that they will sell their homes, their cars, their clothes, even their self-respect, and their established obligations to get it. I mean, that's why the exotic dancers make so much money, especially the men, because these women are thirsty for what they're not getting home: the great sex and the authentic masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
Because see, the thing is, raw femininity is attracted to and willingly submits to primal masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I learned just growing up and just being observant of human behavior, because the knowledge of the game starts with being observant of human behavior.
Body language.
Yeah, body language.
That right there.
Communication.
I actually read a while back. I read "Double Your Dating" by David D'Angelo. Was a good one, and I had read what was that called? "The Tower Badass" by what was his name? Josh Pellicer. "The Tower Badass," and then he actually talked about body language is a crucial part of the book. Verbal judo, nice.
I still think this is relevant too. Probably a lot of guys seen that one before.
I can't see that. Hold on. What does it say?
7 habits of highly effective people.
Okay. She says, Idol X says, okay, so is it possible to use a social security number and not be a citizen if it's doing business as? I would say that's what the UCC1 is for, honestly. When you're making a declaration with the UCC1 and you create all your agreements like you're supposed to, and you put everything on a record, I would say yes. A citizen is the legal fiction.
And I think it says somewhere in the Social Security on their information that the Social Security number and card is not yours anyways.
Nope.
It's their property.
There you go. All right, so Hip Hop List says Social Security numbers attached to the system like the driver's license and CPN may be an alternative. People do CPNs too. There's different ways to do it. Let's be 100% clear here. There isn't one answer to all this stuff. There's a lot of different answers.
Sigler, I just put down 5 recommended books in the chat.
All right, cool.
The 3 books by Ron Wills, The Seduction Scriptures, and also 5th, The Art of Macking by Tariq Nasheed.
Tariq Nasheed.
That first came out in 1999.
Tariq Nasheed, that guy. That dude's got
something else.
He's got some gab with him. I tell you that. That dude's got some. He's got some words with him.
And guess where he learned that from? He learned that from a famous pimp known as Rosebud Bitterdose.
I believe that 100%.
And now check this out. Rosebud Bitter Dose and Ron Wills are featured in that video by Mr. Lucario called Game Kings, the definition of game. I got that downloaded on my iPad.
So let's see.
Lucario, man, you mean Lucario from the Manosphere?
No, yeah, Lucario Bad Boy membership. See, the big three of the Select Manosphere is Ron Wills.
That's it right there.
Yeah. See, the big three of the Select Manosphere is Ron Wills, Arthur Allen Roger Curry, and Cousin T-Talk, Alpha Wingman, aka Scorpio the Entertainer. And this dude, man, he has a degree in neuropsychology. That tripped me out. I found out about it on that video. I found out about it on that video they did with Ron Wills on Vimeo called The Simplex. That's deep. So they're not just talking about women. And if you up there look up Ron Wills and Cousin T-Talk, they did a lot of video collaborations together.
Yeah, I read I saw that book, Russ. I read the book called The Game by Neil Strauss back when I was in my mid-20s.
Yes.
That was a blockbuster. That changed my whole perspective, yo. Like that book was crazy.
Yep. The sequel to that is
now the thing about Alonzo Curry and Ron Wills and Tariq Nasheed came out before that dude.
Yeah, absolutely. They took a lot of elements.
That book came out in the 90s.
Yeah.
Because the first edition of Mode 1 came out in 1999. Also, Nice Guys and Players came around that time too, and The Art of Math.
Yep. All that stuff come from the hood, man. They said that already.
That's right.
All that stuff come from the hood, 100%. I just decided to read the joint because
the teacher and the great method of life.
Yep. Yeah, I read that joint because I remember they had that pickup artist show on TV, VH1. we found that interesting in the early 20s, man. I thought that was dope.
Supreme Lessons right there.
What is this?
Oh, you talking about the 5%? You talking about the mathematics?
The mathematics.
Uh-oh.
Knowledge.
Supreme mathematics?
The Supreme Math. I got the Supreme Math off the top of the dome.
Bars.
I heard that the Supreme Math is formless, zero. Formlessness. That's what you're doing with the occult.
Yeah.
Because the occult science of mathematics is numerology. Because there's 9 branches of mathematics. There's arithmetic, algebra, analysis, geometry, trigonometry, calculus, statistics, probability, and then numerology. Now I'm a numerologist myself.
This guy right here knows. He knows.
You got it off the top of the dome like that. That's amazing.
Hey, yo, let me ask you a question, man. Well, how come if you don't have the right answer when they ask you what's the science, they beat your ass if you don't answer? Why is that? Why is that, man?
Mathematics, man, is amazing. So like a condensed version for some of the math would be like number 1 is knowledge. Knowledge consists of 3 words. When you spell the word knowledge, you get KNOW, which is know, and then you get LEDGE, which is ledge, and then you get EDGE, which is edge. So knowledge consists of know, ledge, and edge. Knowledge is to know the ledge so you don't fall off the edge.
Word. God damn.
Hey, did you show the books by Ron Wills?
Right
that I put in there?
Right here.
Okay.
Yeah, right here. Recommended.
Yeah, but there's also the first 3 I put in there. Let's see, Nice Guys and Players, Sexual Chemistry, Meeting Attractive Women.
I'm coming back for some of these books, watch.
Dude, this right here, this is the one right here. This the one right here, man.
That's the one that deals with the technology, because the thing about it is talking about alchemy in this book. The seduction scriptures, yes. Oh yeah. Because this dude is an expert exotic entertainer. He's also a choreographer, an expert in scene production, and he's also a personal trainer. And he has a degree in neuropsychology. So he ain't just he knows a lot more than women.
Yeah, right. All right. So you said they over here talking about EINs, and they having a whole different conversation. All right. So
see the reason why I say that Ron Wills and Roger Curry and Cousin Tito are the big 3 of the Select Manosphere, because you learn masculine mastery, masculinity from Cousin Tito. You learn the charisma from Alois Curry. Then you learn the body game from Ron Wills, because each time you see the beginning of Ron Wills videos, he's working out in the gym. So he lives by what he teaches.
Word.
And see, that's why I put in there in the comments, game is living the truth of what you actually are. And that's why I learned from my experiences on the street, because the first Mac that taught me that was my Uncle Lester Williamson Sr., God rest his soul. He set me down, man, and I was up there hanging out with his partners at the barbershop, and I was up there listening to the game that was dropping in the barbershop. And that's when I got my first haircut when I was 7 years old. Just listening to the OGs. I'm just talking about dealing with women and all that.
All right,
I just took the lesson and involved in that.
Let me intervene real quick. Idle X says, is it considered a foreign LLC if it's registered with the state, though? Absolutely not.
Especially if it's registered in Nevada and Delaware. Because Delaware has sort of like the same corporate loophole structure as Nevada does, where you can hide certain assets. Hey, hey, A6, you remember that show Queen of the South, where she hid drug profits through cryptocurrency from Spain?
Wait, say it again. You
know the show Queen of the South, starring Alice Brock.
I don't really watch much TV like that, man. To be honest with you.
Yeah. But what made me pay attention to the series was when she up there hid the money in cryptocurrency in Spain and moved the money through the servers, but they couldn't hack into it.
Damn, nah.
Yes. now see, here's what Sly be saying. They put that right in front of your face in these TV shows and these movies. That's what I like about his breakdowns.
Yeah. To be catching.
I mean, I like the way he broke down the Eternals. That was tight.
I didn't watch the Eternals yet, so I didn't want to watch his breakdown.
Yeah, because see, the Eternals is based on our story as melanated beings, because we were all over the place, not just Africa, but the original Brightons were known as the Snake Clan because they had the Uraeus.
Okay.
They were known as the Snake Clan. You look in that book by David McRitchie called The Ancient and Modern Brightons, because the Snake Clan was known as the Picts, the original inhabitants of Scotland, Ireland, and Great Britain. Just like the Shanes of the Shane dynasty were the original Negro inhabitants of China. And Alan Lee said in this book, Kubagan Ngumi, that the original forms of Kung Fu come from ancient African forms of martial arts.
Absolutely. Yeah, I saw that in Hidden Colors talked about that. Tariq Nasheed's production of Hidden Colors.
Yes.
He talked about all art forms come from Africa, and they learned the art forms by actually watching animals in the wild and how they interacted. If you watch two cats fight, it closely resembles Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Like even bears.
Flexibility.
Even bears. Like if you watch the video of Khabib, you remember Khabib Nurmagomedov, the dude, the MMA guy, when he was younger and he was wrestling that bear. The bear was actually using a form of Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He had a guard and everything. It was crazy. I was like, yo, that bear's using jiu-jitsu. Like, what the? But it all comes from
if you look at Brazilian jiu-jitsu, it comes from the ancient Olmec forms of fight. It comes from the Olmec Black Jaguar plant. Yeah. Wow. The jaguar, the leopard, and the panther, because actually the true Black Panther is the Olmecs, not Africa. Because the Olmec has certain man jaguar shapeshifting rituals where we're half jaguar, half man.
Damn. All right, my cup is full.
So the Wakanda is not Africa. The Wakanda is
and I'm gonna sign off for a little bit, man. I got
no doubt. I'll be honest with you. I got to get some dinner, bro. I would love to keep this on and keep this going. Can you come back next week, Mr. Bones, man? Because you got so much to talk about. And I'll be honest with you, man.
Hey, I'll tell you what. I'll come back as Seven Moons Epic. How about that?
Say it again.
I'll come back as my Native American name, Seven Moons Epic. How about that?
Work. That'll work absolutely, man. Hey, look, the information we dispelled right now, currently, you guys have plenty. Please rewind and go back through it, get all the books, listen to my man spitting off knowledge, all the questions that was asked. Sorry we couldn't get to everybody's questions. It was just too much information coming out.
Hey, I appreciate the knowledge you got with those books, man, because some of those books I've already read.
Absolutely. It was nice to feel something synchronistic, you know what I mean?
Hey, yes. I learned a lot today, so I'm just going to say thank you for the lesson.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, folks. Well, look, thank you for the information. And again, it's A6 the 4 National Born Natural. I'll pass it over to Russ and let him sign off.
Yo, it's Rule All Matter, born omnipotent. You know what I mean? I appreciate being a guest on the show. You guys have a good night.
Absolutely, and I'll pass it over to Mac now.
And I'm going to leave you with some gems. The vibration of your flow determines the quality of your glow. When the student is ready, the master teacher will appear. Life is the real master teacher. And those are the gems of the game known as life that I leave with y'all. I do.
All right.
All right, folks. Same time next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace out.
All right, peace out, brother. I'm signing off.
No doubt.